who we are calling India's most impactful leaders, at least at what we think of them, right? And as I mentioned, we are honoring few leaders from the past who really did make a very substantial, I would say, contribution to the education, school education sector in specific for our nation. So we will first have, as I mentioned in the first half, we'll have what we call it as outstanding long service honor. So we are in our own humble capacity honoring them with the outstanding long service because we truly value what they have contributed to us. And if I may reiterate and if I may set a right context, that whenever we host an award ceremony, I personally believe we should remember people who have brought us where we are. Coming to the second part of, which is, as I mentioned to you, which is primarily the core aim of this honor ceremony, which is about meeting impactful leaders which were nominated by members from the fraternity, which is the most important part to be noted, which was that there was no self-nomination. There was no peer, if I may say, no employee or say friend nomination in a way. I know it's hard to digest that you have to nominate the other person and you don't have to nominate yourself. I know that's a different skin you have to start living with. But then having said this, that was really the aim, that can we change the rhetoric, if I may say, or at least set a right example in front of what is happening, which is, I won't go there at what is happening because I personally feel it's better way of doing this is by setting the right example. And I think we will set that example as we go along. So then we will meet these, what we could zero in on 26 leaders, which we will honor today, and we will meet them. We will in fact interact with them as well as we go along. So this is in a way, the 2 hours for us, which is 120 odd minutes. This will all unfold in the next 120 minutes in front of us. Thank you. I'm very, very glad that most of the leaders are on the video. Good. You all are looking beautiful, fantastic, all charged up, right? So I will now hand it over to Divya to kickstart the proceedings. Okay. I wanted not to do this, but somehow I feel I have too big an itch to come back on screen every time I have to do this. So I'm trying to avoid that temptation all over again. But having said this, I will quickly say a big thank you to our partners before we even go any further. We would like to thank Matific in this entire journey of being together with us and understanding and appreciating what we will have done in the past 45 to 60 odd days, and as we will do in the next 120 odd minutes. And I have with me Craig. Craig is the CEO of Matific, joining us from Australia. In fact, I'm not attempting his second name because I usually mispronounce it. So having said this, I will restrict by saying, Craig, good to have you with us. And it was a pleasure working with you on this. I know it must be late. It must be at least, what, 7:30 in Australia right now? Evening?
It's 8:30 p.m. at the moment, but thank you very much for the kind words, Garava.
So good to have you, Craig, and thank you for this association. I can't but say this, that this would not have been possible without the sort of jury I had with me, because I was simply moderating the show, and I had a wonderful jury, which really, as I said, these are hard hours which were put together, and we actually interviewed for almost 20 days. We were on a daily basis, were meeting leaders after leaders, and I'm happy about the fact that this time the nominations were less, because trust me, it was very rigorous. So I somehow miscalculated it completely that this has to be done in this format. So next year when we do this, we'll be a little more prepared, I would say, because I have a precedence to look after. So I would quickly thank our jury chair, which is Dr. Ap J Ramanji, a very, very distinguished nuclear scientist of our country, was with Bhama Atomic Research Center for good 40 odd years from year 1964 to 2004. J. Ramanji is not only a nuclear scientist. I personally feel, having interacted with him at least in the past 3 months, I would say, I get to know that somehow people like him should be really given, if I may say, they don't need podium. I would say they need to be given an exposure to a level that at least we can learn from their experience at a greater level. His work in the science field after his stint at SBARC has been phenomenal. He continues to work with the school education and the higher education on the science front and the movement of science. So with my folded hands, J. Ramanji, thank you very much for your valuable time. And by the way, I should also make this one quick distinction that my other jury members, and not that I'm taking away anything from them because it was a very rigorous schedule, were possibly have to miss one session or the other. It was J. Ramanji who was through and through us for every interaction which we did for 20 days. He was rigorously, or in fact patiently, listening to each and every leader and had very wonderful observations. So, sir, an honor to be working with you. I must say I learned so much. I learned patience, if I may say, the virtue. I lack it, a bit of it, but I'll work on it for that matter, for sure. J. Raman, sir, I think you'll have to unmute yourself if...
It is always pleasant to hear compliments, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, I wanted to keep a jury which was not all men jury. So hence, and not to say that, I really wanted to have a very inclusive jury, to be very honest with you, but very rarely do you come across in my own circle when you look near here or there and not being prejudiced, if I may say, so that I look very neutral in terms of evaluating this. I had Meena, which was giving that semblance to our jury, Mrs. Meena Vedanta. In fact, what should I say? A social entrepreneur, firstly, in her most recent capacity, she is now an entrepreneur, and she is a professional with over, I think, 25 odd years of experience in the corporate, from being the director in an IT firm to various other, I would say, position which she held. But most important is that she is a dear friend, and she was no frill, which is important when you deal with people, because then there are people with a lot of frills. So thank you very much, Meena. It was wonderful having you with us as well. And you really brought, if I may say, the balance to the jury by your questioning and by your sort of observations, which we got eventually. Thank you. Meena, you'll have to unmute.
Sure. Well, thank you, Gaurav. I really enjoyed this process. Yes, it was very rigorous and it was very time consuming, but as you put it, and as Dr. J. Raman said, we also really enjoyed engaging and talking to leaders who are really shaping up India's youth. I'm also hoping that my choice as a jury member was not just because of my gender.
Not at all. So coming to my third jury member, in fact, I have dived into my opening sort of a conversation and into the agendas primarily. So I'm now in a way introducing. However, we have specific jury observations after my introduction, so which I will hand it over to the jury chair, and then all the jury members will in fact be sharing their observations about the entire process with you all. Because one was that we never gave anyone an individual feedback. We will give overall sort of a thought process of doing this as an exercise, what we got out of it, so that we all tomorrow have a fairly reasonable understanding of how we went about doing this, for that matter. I will go to my third jury member, Vivek. I'm not sure if Vivek has joined us yet. Vivek Atre, I think Vivek is here. Hi, Vivek. Hello, Gaurav. How are you? Good to have you. And In fact, I usually used to get this wrong with Vivek, that he was the Director of Education, but now this time I should get it right. He was Director of Education for the state of Haryana while he was a serving IS officer. After, I think, then he went to his calling, I believe. His calling was to be an author and working with the young youth for being a motivational speaker, which he currently performs as his active role. So thank you, Vivek. It was pleasure having you on our jury. In fact, and as I said, your very focused questions are always appreciated by everyone who we interacted with. I move on to my fourth jury member, Sanjay Virnaveji. Sanjay Virnaveji is with us here. Sanjay Virnaveji is based out of Mysuru. Again, what should I, again, because when I usually look at my own age and when I look at the experience people hold, then I start feeling a little shaky. Sanjay ji has 33 years of corporate experience from IT to telecom, which was centered around Southeast Asia, leading many leading multinational companies. More importantly, he, after retiring, is now based out of a small town near Mysuru. And obviously his calling was to work with the school sector, education, in fact, if I may say, the larger subset. So he's been working with me at IPN, at EduAce, which is my venture startup, at multiple capacities, but more importantly, he's my advisor, he's my mentor. So Sanjay ji, it was a pleasure having you with us and this jury as well. And certainly you added a lot of gravity to the entire conversation. Over to you.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Just one point. Sometimes age and experience is a baggage. So we need to be careful of that. But more when our turn comes about giving comments.
Certainly. We
Thank you. Welcome all.
Thank you, sir. I also will quickly, I'm not sure of, but I'm just checking because my window is getting flooded. I believe James is not keeping well. James, Rajiv, and in fact, even Craig, for that matter, were part of our jury. So I was given this to understand that James will be speaking, but I believe James is not here. Would you like to, by any chance, I'm not sure if Rajiv is also here or not.
Rajiv is here.
Rajiv is also. Yeah. Rajiv, good to have you with us. It was obviously, we met for regular 20 days, so I'm sure we all are a little bored of each other, if I may say, but then you have to do this for one last time. How are you? Doing well?
It was a pleasure meeting all the participants. I think it was a good learning experience for me. I think rather than judging, I learned a lot as a part of this whole process, actually. So I think, first of all, I think it's a pleasure associating with IPN, and second, I mean, for me, it was personally a good learning experience, I would say.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I continue to see a lot of very, very senior distinguished leaders are joining in. Ashok Pandey, Mrs. Burman, Dr. Ram Mohan, and please pardon me if I am unable to take your name. It's purely because I have 290 people in my audience right now, so I may miss out. You may end up being on the second window. Jayashree ji is here, Amrita Varman ma'am is here, and Dr. Bikram is also, I can see. So as I mentioned that we will now, after the introduction, I broadly gave the structure as well, that we will have the honors into two broad categories, as I mentioned, that we are honoring some remarkable leaders who are, few of them are in active role yet. However, they are taking the role of mentorship in their respective institutions. So we are calling for those honors as outstanding long service honors. And then we will, after the message from Craig, will dive into the main honors, which is the 26 leaders who will be today honored from IPN as India's impactful leaders by virtue of what we got to know. And please, by no means do we have to say this, that these are the only leaders, not at all. We can't really do this at a magnitude which I'm sure you'll understand. people which you nominated, we could meet, and of that pool of people, we felt these are the people who are doing a remarkable job. So I will start with a disclaimer. This is not intended by any means to give you that this is what it is. It is what we think after having met people. So please take this with a sense that we tried making this a very objective format because it was peer nominated, as I mentioned to you. We only met this leader who accepted our invitation as well. And I must say to you this, that a lot of people, maybe they missed out our messages, they could not read. We tried reaching out to them. Perfectly okay, that's the way the world works, right? So this is where I personally feel this is the way we structured it. This is the way we tried doing it. And I'm sure this is a foolproof way. Maybe we'll become better. And certainly that's a sort of an ideology we work at IPN with. So people who, if I may say, are not making the inductee list this year, we truly still appreciate your work. And by no means we say this, that you are if not here, you by any chance do not deserve to be here, if I may say, right? So with that as my note, I will pass on to the jury chair, Dr. Ap J Ramanji sir, for his observation and entire jury's observation. And we are officially in a way, and Divya, don't worry, you still are doing a good job. I'm doing your job, no worry, right? We will make you in as well. But quickly over to the jury chair, Dr. Ap J Ramanji sir, for his and the jury's observation on the entire process.
Thank you, Gauravji, and my dear beautiful minds and fellow jurists. About 10 years ago, I used to take a class for my MBA and PGDM students, and the class was The Fine Art of Saying No, the art of saying no. But in a moment of unguarded caution, when Gauravji asked me to be in the jury, I forgot about my class and yielded to this temptation. Now I face the grand challenge of meeting 20 days, about 80 beautiful minds, and meeting them was not the problem. You can meet all of them together on a platform and talk to them or talk over them. But on a one-to-one conversation, that was a remarkable challenge. And all this intellectual capital you had were to be called in. That was the greatest challenge I had as the jury chair and as a jury member. For me, every encounter with a beautiful mind was a concerto. A concerto is a symphony and a conversation. I started my conversation with everybody individually, with a carefully crafted, skillfully blended, open-ended statement, non-threatening, open-ended statement. That was a great art by itself, so I had to do that homework. Having done that, the moment this open statement was given, I could see the response. And it is the spectrum of response which made me very wise. There were quick responses, very swift, peremptory, spontaneous responses, but every conversation I started was converted, transformed, and transmuted into a convocation, into a communication by the respondent. This conversion of a conversation into a communication, that was a teacherly act, because every teacher has a message to deliver. There are barriers in the classroom. There is no classroom without any noise. But above the noise, as soon as the conversation was triggered, you get a chain reaction of communication. A communication transmitting a mission and transmitting a message to the conversationalist. So this rapid transformation from my conversation into a communication from the respondent was a great experiment. I would say a fine experiment in the crucible of evidence-based reasoning. So I enjoyed that. I could also find that some respondents, they quickly responded to me in conversation mode for a short while before they went into the communication mode. This bandwidth of transformation speed of a conversation into a communication from a normal wavelength conversation to a short wavelength high pitch communication. That was a remarkable teacherly quality with which I learned, and that is my learning experience number one. Conversion of conversations into communications. Now, the number two learning experience was, all of us know, we are all products of Macaulay's education enclave. Macaulay wanted us to speak English elegantly, as good as Shakespeare and Milton and the Bible. And he wanted the Indians to be Indians knowing English and with a spirit preserved in the British tradition. I could find all the respondents educated in the Macaulay tradition, but with an Indianness, with an ethnicity of Indian, and with Indian ethos and ethics built into that. So that was another, I would call, a falsification of the Macaulay theme. The third learning point I had was, I believe strongly in the sociobiological theory of cumulative cultural evolution. We are what we are today is because of our teachers. I repeat this. We are what we are today because of our teachers. There is anthropological evidence, there is evolutionary Darwinian experience, but this can be very clearly now postulated as an evidence-based reasoning. Sir Isaac Newton once said that I could see far because I stand on the shoulders of others. I could see far because I stand on the shoulders of others. The shoulders which Newton was speaking, the giants we were speaking, are the teachers. We were standing on the shoulders of teachers, and that is why we could see beyond that. So what Darwin calls as the natural selection, I would call this teacherly intervention, which is responsible for the intellectual evolutionary stage to which we have currently reached. That's a theory, it was over there, but I could get anecdotal evidence from each and every one of you that there is a cumulative cultural evolution and you are an integral part of that system. So that was two learning experience I had. One, falsification of the Macaulay thesis and validation of the cumulative cultural evolution theory. These two I could learn on a one-to-one basis. Now, having met all of you, we normally go into the geography-gender ratio. We have the classical Pareto's ratio, 80-20. So I also expected 80-20. But when you took a numerical count, you found that it was 63-27. Why this inversion? If you look at the bottom of the pyramid and do a back of the envelope calculation, you can find, look at the Technology Vision 2035 document, the number of teachers at primary, elementary, all these classes, put all of them together. At the pyramid level, we have more female representation. As we come up to the top, this is 63-27. Why did this happen? That is a subject for study. Was there a glass ceiling? Were there people who were not able to smatter the glass scene to the smithereens? Only sociologists will be able to explain that in greater detail. The second factor which struck me most was the geography. The wide diversity. This was right from Kerala to Jammu. We had the kaleidoscopic picture of experienced beautiful minds coming over here. Yet another very interesting feature was the diversity of the disciplines they brought in, the intellectual capital. We had people speaking on mathematical topology on one side and cognitive neuroplasticity on the other. See the spectrum. Where is mathematical topology or ability to comprehend at that higher sensitive elevations of mathematics? And here, the neurons, I'm not speaking about the neutrons. The neutrons can be managed by atomic scientists, but the neurons are much more complex. And neuroplasticity and cognitive neuroplasticity being employed at a practical, empirical, pragmatic level at the operational aspect. So you found an intellectual diversity which was perplexing and baffling. And also at the jury, assimilating and absorbing it and internalizing this for an evaluation was really a very tough job. Again, I looked at being an academician. I looked at the academic spectrum and I found 30% holding doctorates. An extremely refreshing phenomenon, 30% of them were having doctorates. And what is more surprising, there was a doctorate with a PhD with a D.Litt. These are the intellectual accomplishments which the teacherly community now wants to internalize. That was an extremely important one for me. And again, if you look at the introduction of management, because at that level, there's a lot of administration and management, not administration, management coming over. And I found 30% of the respondents were holding MBA degrees. MBA degrees, not only from India, but even from abroad. Now, this, when we go higher up in the scale as teachers, when you become domain specialists, and then you become coordinators, and then you become principals, we need to perform the magical art of management. Management, the American Management Association defined it this way: it is the art of getting work done from others. Getting work done from others in spite of themselves, that's a great managerial act. So it is natural, it's a very natural and probable consequence of a professional excellence that they have integrated management qualifications also into their profession. Again, if you do a hyperfine splitting, what we call the spectral analysis of the academic degrees, you could find that there was a peak corresponding to English language. Now, of all the degrees I have very critically examined under a microscope, I found that English was having a big peak. And not only peak at the master's level, but also at the doctorate level. Now, this is another aspect which I wanted to mention, the linguistic proficiency which has been obtained in a foreign language, and the remarkable ease and elegance with which they teach. So as I look back, as I discussed with one of the respondents who taught me Wordsworth's poem, Emotions Recollected in Tranquility. So that's precisely what I'm doing with one of the respondents with me. I could find there were effective teachers, very efficient teachers, and there were eclectic teachers. Above all, I was looking for scientific teachers, not science teachers, but teachers who teach scientifically. The ultimate aim in pedagogy or andragogy or pedagogy is nothing but delivering in a scientific fashion. You need not be a science teacher, but that transition from a non-scientific, unscientific, anti-scientific attitude to a pro-scientific, science-friendly, to an eclectic level of scientific teacherliness. That is the transition and evolution which the teacher community will go. You have brought the human species to this space. You yourselves were undergoing through a revolutionary process of self-evolution. I could witness that evolution, which is within this evolution. I would call this a revolution within revolution in the educational sphere. These are my general learning curves, which I had the privilege, the rich and rare privilege of abstracting from you as I interacted with you. Thank you very much for this excellent opportunity, professional opportunity, academic opportunity you have provided to me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your very detailed analysis. I would say that, in fact, I was also trying to do a similar sort of a split, but then you've already said this, so hence my job is done now. My one part of the message is already done. I will pass on to my next jury member, Vivek Atre. Vivek, your observations, please.
Thank you very much. Gaurav, first let me thank you. I think you have done a remarkable job by putting together such minds. And as I often say, a human being is a conglomerate of body, mind, and soul. Here we have put together beautiful minds, as Dr. Jayaraman also mentioned. I think Dr. Jayaraman gave a speech which is befitting a big hall and thousands of people clapping. I think he spoke very well, very inspiringly, and it is rare to find a speech like this on camera or on webinars or on Zoom or whatever it is. So my compliments to him. And I think the jury itself, was such an accomplished jury. I was very happy to be part of it, and very, very experienced, very, very erudite, very tasteful people, in the sense that they had the priorities right, and I was happy that I could fit in. And also, I think remarkable people whom we met and interviewed from various schools and institutions, leaders in their own right. My questions were often and mostly related to leadership and emotional intelligence and people skills and what really inspires and things like that. I have been a votary of raising the level and stature of teachers in society. Director education, I was only for a few years, but I have done some other things which also went the same way. And my feeling is that in society, teachers used to have a much higher stature than they do today. When I was deputy commissioner, I would go to villages and talk to them, and some students, only 1 or 2 students would say, I want to be a teacher when I grow up. In Haryana, if you go and ask, they will all say they want to join the police. Or if you go to Punjab, they all want to go to Canada. The point is that very few people want to be teachers or principals or educationists. And I find that a principal's role or a teacher's role is actually quite remarkable. Because as I often say, doctors do the maintenance job, but teachers do the nurturing job. And they have to nurture and hone and build and make progress in a personality as that personality is developing. In the 3 important stakeholders of education, teachers, parents, and students themselves, I think the role of the teachers is the most difficult. It is most difficult because they have a bag full of students to handle, each with their own personalities, their own aspirations, their own talents, their own downsides, their own mindsets. And teachers have to quickly get to know them and bring out the best of them. It is a tough Herculean task. And then teachers who repeat the same act every year, they often have to innovate, not only to challenge themselves, which they should, but also to keep up with the times. And Dr. Jayaraman quickly and very well said that he said that, you know, it is not really about knowledge as far as I could gain from him. It is not knowledge which matters. Knowledge is something which is available. Information especially is available. Everybody's IQ these days is pretty high, and very few people you will find who can't grasp anything. It is the emotional quotient which matters. And one of my questions was to school leaders, how will you ensure that a good history teacher or chemistry teacher becomes a good leader? Maybe brilliant in teaching, but doesn't know how to handle pressures. So that kind of skill is what we were looking for, at least I was looking for in this process of selecting institutional leaders of excellence. I think we have some remarkable leaders across the educational world in India. And I don't think we need to look beyond our borders. If you look at the best practices within India and you pick up best practices from each other, which I heard in this process, and a few months back, we met teachers from all across India through Gaurav in another set of interviews. I think we will find that our institution can do a lot by learning from each other. And we can do a lot by learning from each other. When we have done 30 years or 40 years of education, we might think we know it all, and it becomes difficult to mold ourselves. But sometimes by becoming humble and becoming the kind of receptive to new ideas, even at that age or that stage, it becomes to our credit that we can even improve even better. I'll end with a little story, although principals are not normally used to listening to stories, but I have been a student, and it is a great pleasure for me to tell a story to principals. It is something which I hope that will give my message to you in a nutshell. My book is called Finding Success Within. I always talk about the battle within. And these days, everybody becomes spiritual at the age of 40 or 45 or 50 or 55. Some never, but some of us have started thinking about the bigger picture of life. So this battle within is what my story is about. There was this Sant Mahatma or saint sitting outside a village under a tree, and the villagers would go and meet him and give him some food, and he would keep meditating. Now, it's not possible for most of us to do that. We have a life to lead and we meditate sometimes. But this saint comes to and says that, Sanji, I heard that you have a diamond which is very expensive in your possession. He says, yes, I have a diamond. He says, can you give it to me? He says, yes, take it away. He hands him that diamond and the man looks at him in surprise. He says, can I take it? He says, yeah. And the saint goes back to his meditation and the man goes home with the diamond, spends a week with the diamond and comes back to the saint. He says, Saint, please take back this diamond. He says, why? Was it of no use? Is it not costly enough? He says, no, if I sell this diamond, my life will change. I'll become the richest man in the area and I will have no problems in life. But I cannot sleep these days for the last 1 week. I don't want this diamond. I want that which made you give me this diamond. So the saint obviously had something superior to the diamond within himself, which made him part with something so valuable. I also have a little adage from Paramahansa Yogananda's teachings of autobiography of a yogi. He says the real renunciant is not a saint who has renounced the world. The real renunciant is the man who is zipping after materialistic success because he has renounced God. Somebody who has renounced God has really renounced the real valuable treasure. So if we keep in mind the bigger picture, I'm sure all of us can be great leaders. And when we don't get into what is called pettiness or Dhatyanusi stuff, then our heart enlarges, our mind enlarges, our spirit enlarges, and we are able to succeed. Thank you very much. And Gaurav, I think it's a fantastic effort. More power to you all.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you for your kind words, and what a powerful message, I must say. In the interest of time, will quickly move on. Meena, over to you, Miss Meena Vedanta.
Mute. Unmute.
Thank you. Give me a while to unmute. Thank you. Firstly, thank you so much, Gaurav, for inviting me to be a jury member. I really enjoyed, like I said before, this whole process. And like Dr. Jayaraman mentioned, very, very quickly into the first few interviews, I also started realizing, what did I get myself into? Because it was so intense. It was not something that I had meant for. To spend 20 days. But I have to mention this, that even though I skipped 1 or 2 days, and for all these 17, 18 days that I was there, never once during those conversations did I ever feel that it was so much time that I sort of committed, because I felt that was, in that process, there was so much that I had learned as well. I'll give you a couple of examples and a couple of thoughts actually on that. As a social entrepreneur and as someone who does a lot of social impact evaluation of impact projects, long-term projects, we do a lot of what is called as log frame analysis, and we do identification of parameters and indicators which will sort of tell you whether long-term impact is happening or not. And we've done a lot of similar work in education. And, when we look at young leaders, or when we look at teachers, or when we look at education parameters, there are certain parameters that sort of come up as what are called as lead indicators and lag indicators, which sort of try and tell us or inform us whether education is really achieving its long-term impact or not. And frankly, in my conversations with the leaders who we had the opportunity to meet, some of those parameters were what I was trying to see where they fit into, because that would be a very objective yardstick to determine whether they were truly leaders or not. But, and as they say, the best, while we were looking for the best leaders amongst these wonderful and great teachers, I always believe that the best leaders are often great teachers. And I think that was what we also found. And the overall observation was that, it just struck me that it didn't matter whether there was a leader from a very small town in Uttarakhand, or a sort of a village cluster or a rural cluster in Rajasthan or Andhra, or whether it was Chandigarh or Delhi or Jammu or Calcutta, all the leaders that we met. I didn't see geography being a detriment in terms of their vision. And to me, that gave me so much positivity and energy, and a feeling of hope, to sort of say that. And I really, really want to compliment all the leaders who we met, who we had the opportunity to speak to, saying thank you, thank you for your work, and thank you for your vision and your commitment and your passion, because it makes us hopeful of the future. So that was one observation overall that I found. Second is in terms of, so there are 2 or 3 parameters. There are many parameters that I was sort of evaluating when I was asking questions, etc., through various questionnaires based on our past history and historical evidence, etc. But there were a few that I would say was predominant in most, and needless to say, and that's why they are leaders. One of them being communication, and we found that a majority of them not just were able to articulate and communicate what they had in mind, but they also gave us a lot of evidence in terms of how they were effective communicators, because a leader is one who can effectively translate what their leadership thoughts to others, and they become then not just mere leaders, they become transformative, because then all their leadership is not within them, they have the ability to transfer that to others. The second is empathy. It was remarkable to see the number of leaders who we spoke to who really referred to their teams. They referred to what really helped them succeed, what helped them, and this feeling that they are not the center of the change, but where they are more in terms of a catalyst of change. It was remarkable, and we really did see that facet in a number of leaders as well, which was again very, very refreshing. The third and the last point that I want to talk about is I was really struck by the level of innovation in most leaders, whether it was their response to the pandemic and how, and because schools and education is amongst the hardest hit, especially when it comes to young students and teachers who really had virtually no time to switch gears and change. And there were so many instances and evidence from leaders that we heard of innovative ways in which they had ensured learning outcomes while still battling with lack of internet connectivity, or even lack of devices, etc., etc. So and there were many others who were very openly, and like Jayaraman sir talked about, in terms of being Indian at the core, but making sure that they're sort of imbibing and bringing the best in the world to make it sort of relevant to their present. We saw again so many instances where these leaders are really transforming, not just doing a cut-paste copy from what they learned and what they've seen elsewhere, but to be innovative and making sure that education is truly, sort of next gen and is sort of truly transformative. So I would say, and I would stop here, saying that it was a wonderful journey. So I want to first thank you to all the teachers for filling us with hope and for making us realize also the importance that we have to continue to provide a platform, many platforms like this, to leaders to give them, to fill us with hope. And thank you, Gaurav and team, IPN. You're doing a stellar job, and I'm really thankful also to my fellow jury members. It was really a pleasure to do the interviews and the discussions with you all, because I think when you are interacting with the best, you tend to give your best as well. So I really want to also thank you and appreciate my fellow jury members. It was a real pleasure. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Meena. Always a pleasure interacting with you. And as I mentioned, I think you're leaving all with us that powered hope, I would say. Yeah, we are all hopeful, and certainly we will scale a lot of heights together, I would say. Thank you very much. You are a very integral part of the team, of the jury, and look forward to see you next year as well. Thank you, Meena. Sanjay Vinave sir, over to you.
Thank you, Gaurav, and thank you everybody for being here. I have been with Gaurav since last 4-5 years now, and I have seen him grow. I've really seen him grow, and he's still the same talkative self that he is. I'm still waiting for Divya to come on stage. But anyway, I'll keep it very short. I had few points, but the other jury members have already talked about it. So I will just fill the missing links. One, after having spoken to all of you, I felt that if I could rewind my life and go back to the school, so I was wondering and I was choosing which school principal should I go to. So it's a very difficult choice, and each one of you is a star for me. But what I liked most are two things, and this essentially comes from the background that I have, the corporate background, worked for 35 years now. So see what happens, in corporate, when a person becomes CEO, one of the most important, so everyone has skills, everyone is a performer, but there is just one thing that separates, that is humility. So I found humility in almost all of you. And humility brings in collaborative effort. Humility will bring in passion. Humility also brings in future. So my compliments to each one of you for teaching humility to students, because this question I had asked a few people. So this is very important for me. And the last most important for me is self-learning. See, what happens is a student receives formal education of 17 years or 18 years. Generally, engineer 18 years, a normal graduate 17 years, unless a person decides to do, PhD and other things. And with this 17 or 18 years of formal education, the person has to work for 35, 38 years. So what is most important is that has the student learned the ability to self-learn for next 35 years? And in my own way, I found out, and I'm so proud to say that most of you are working towards making these students independent, making these students self-learn, because in school they are in protected environment. They go to college where they have to do at least 60-70% of self-learning, and then once they start working, well, others will, the colleagues will force them to de-learn, but self-learning becomes most important. So my compliments to each one of you for enabling this, and I feel that anybody going to corporate needs to do this. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Gaurav, and thank you, my fellow jury members.
Thank you, Sanjay sir. Always a pleasure working with you. In fact, as I said, learning with you. I will quickly go to our final jury member, and then he will dive into his message to us as well, which is Mr. Craig. Over to you. You'll have to unmute. Yeah.
Thanks, Gaurav. Firstly, to my fellow jury members, thank you very much as well. It was inspirational working alongside you and hearing your passion for the space. Interestingly, with COVID and the year 2020, a lot of people have often used the phrase that we're all in the same storm together. I've got a slight variant on that saying. I think we're all in the same storm, but in very different boats. And looking across the globe, those boats can be very different. looking across the different states in India, those boats can be looking very different. And having had the pleasure to listen to a number of captains of those boats over the past couple of weeks, and sort of relating a little bit back to what my colleague said earlier, I have learned an incredible amount, but also learned an incredible amount in terms of feeling inspired from a lot of people that have done a lot of amazing things in very, very challenging times. My questions tended to focus on a part of the person's biography or history or something they had noted or achieved. And that enabled them to tell a story. And I think a few other people have mentioned this. Just hearing their stories unfold was quite incredible. And the innovative and novel ideas, the resilience, the challenges that people have found and come through have certainly been very inspirational. The themes that tended to shine through across the board for me were certainly around resilience and growth. I think it's amazing how in very challenging times that people certainly rise to the occasion. And that's tended to cut across the principals, the administrative staff, the teachers, the parents, and the students. I don't think there is any group that hasn't had to step up in these situations. Removing, I guess, the COVID piece and the challenges aside, I was very interested around the pedagogical focus of teachers around critical thinking and conceptual understanding, the drive for education and social equality, breaking barriers and finding very interesting ways on how to achieve that in today's world. The challenging times certainly called for significant additional effort on behalf of a lot of the principals and their teams. And I think 2020, whilst it's been incredibly challenging, I think we will find that everyone's worked that much harder in order to make it at least a success for their students. And finally, I came out of not a single session not being impressed or amazed or inspired in some way from the candidates. So a very big thank you to all of you just for the amazing things that you've done for your schools and the broader community. Gaurav, would you like me to jump into the presentation following on from that?
Yeah, great. Yes, absolutely.
So assuming you can all see my screen, I'd like to take this moment just to tell you a little bit about Matific. I will try and keep it short so we can get back to the highlight of the show, which is the award ceremony and obviously the principals as well. For those of you who don't know, Matific is a primary school mathematics product. We teach maths online. We've heard again and again about the education challenges of the 21st century. From the point of view of policy making, a classroom is where we see our future scientists, engineers, programmers, doctors, economists, and entrepreneurs. And we also need well-educated lawyers, social workers, musicians, and football players. But above all, we have a moral duty to provide every child with the chance to succeed in life and realize their potential. When you look at the same group of children 20 years later, this is what you'll see at best. The vast majority of our children will fail to reach their dreams and their full potential. Why does this happen? There are many reasons, but I want to focus on one that we all know too well: foundations. The common grounds of all the skills that are needed and will be needed in an evolving world are the foundational skills of literacy and mathematics. None of us can tell what will the job market will be in 20 years' time, but we know that strong foundations of literacy and mathematics will keep being the key to success. Looking back into history from ancient India, Babylon, Egypt, and Greece, and as well as the Persian Empire, we see a correlation between flourishing mathematics and a flourishing society. To make it into a slogan, there is no STEM or STEAM without the M. The problem is that children and teachers have a phobia of mathematics. And perhaps the best way of showing this, what goes on, is with an example. Somewhere in the primary school curriculum, children learn about the area of all kinds of shapes. For example, triangles. In most cases, they have to memorize a formula. An area of a triangle is equal to the length of its base times the length of its half divided by 2. Why is this so? Rarely will the children get an answer to that. And then once they've memorized the formula, They're requested to answer a question like, a triangle is 10 centimeters wide and 6 centimeters high. What is the area? And that continues and continues. This is not mathematics. This is training human robots which have zero understanding of what they're doing. This is how you create a sense of irrelevance and alienation. I'd like to show you a quick video. Could we do it differently? The first thing we need in order to talk about the area of a triangle is not a formula. What we need is a triangle, and not just one. A geometric shape is something we can manipulate and play with. For example, by moving around the tip of the triangle and further, and at some point, your teacher might draw this dashed line through it, cutting it in half into two parts. Or maybe you can imagine it without bringing it to their attention. And once you split the triangle in two, you see something new, which you probably have overlooked. You see the triangle is half of a rectangle. And once you saw this, you can no longer unsee it. Your eyes tell you that the area of a triangle is exactly 1/2 of the area of the surrounding rectangle. And this remains true even if you restart moving the tip of the triangle. And here again, what we have seen is how to teach mathematics reasoning. At Matific, our vision is to provide every child in every country with a mathematical experience of the highest possible quality. Matific is a digital platform offering thousands of hands-on activities covering the entire primary school mathematics curriculum. These activities engage boys and girls into one big mathematical journey, through which they develop, beside all the standard proficiency skills, advanced skills of problem solving, critical thinking, and strategic design. You see screenshots from Matific above, dealing with arithmetic, geometry, measurement, symmetry, data analysis, algebra, logic, and more. These activities were designed by world experts in the field of mathematics, mathematical education, and gamification. Rigor on one side and engagement on the other. But beyond all, Matific develops in each child a sense of capability, a sense of no problem is too hard for me. Rather than alienating children, Matific makes children see mathematics everywhere around them. And these are not my words, these are feedback we're getting constantly from children and teachers. Matific is extremely versatile and can be assimilated with any existing teaching routine. It can be used to facilitate a lesson using a single device. It can be used if students have their own devices. It can be used in intervention programs. And in fact, it can be used anywhere in class, or as we've seen a lot recently, at home, or in the local library. What is Matific? We've got over 2,000 interactivities. It's aligned with your curriculum. It's evidence-based impact and learning. It's personalized and adaptive. It's extensive resource for teachers. We provide reporting, student groups, classes, and schools. It works on all platforms, and it's currently being used by millions of students in over 60 countries around the world. Our vision is to enable all stakeholders in childhood education to work together. We work to engage parents, providing them with visibility and insights needed to understand their child's learning journey. We work to empower teachers, automating the less important elements and leaving them with more time for what is important, teaching. We work to excite children, delighting them with carefully crafted activities that are grouped in rigorous pedagogy. Finally, we enable governments with advanced insights and analytics, as well as tailored professional development, ensuring best practice mathematical education. Probably the most important thing at Matific is that everything is underpinned by our pedagogy. To ensure our pedagogy underlies the product at each step in the development cycle, our academic board, led by Professor Raz Cooperman, our Chief Pedagogical Officer of the Einstein Institute, and the other board work together to deliver Matific's pedagogy. The pedagogy has been developed around 5 principles. Together, each one aims to develop true authenticity in the child's relationship with mathematics, whether that's fostering real conceptual understanding as opposed to skimming the surface with rule-based processing, fostering the problem-solving and critical thinking skills needed for 21st century education, bringing mathematics to life by placing it within natural context, empowering teachers with powerful differentiation tools, both automated and manual. These principles together form the foundation of a child's mathematical education. Now, I might skip this rest of the section, or I'll touch on it lightly, but students live in a digital world filled with constant and sophisticated distractions. How do we create an authentic engagement in the 21st century classroom? And so we've built out this amazing interactive world for kids to learn and grow. We use artificial intelligence, gamification, and a whole bunch of other amazing elements that a child loves learning mathematics. In addition, we work closely with parents so that they can follow the progress of their children and feel empowered in their education, which so many teachers unfortunately don't feel. And most importantly, we are empowering the teachers. Teachers struggle to have a real-time formative assessment data. How can teachers be empowered to provide individualized intervention to the right student at the right time? Sorry. Do that through amazing reporting and class management. Matific is currently used in over 60 countries around the world and 40 languages. Interestingly, with COVID-19, it's very much fast-tracked the digital education revolution. We've seen an increase in over nearly 500% per month, an extra 100% increase in teacher-assigned activities. And we've seen 150% increase in registered users in March through to May compared to the whole of 2019. We ran a pilot program in Tamil Nadu, would have been in 2019. And we did a pre and post survey with the students. And this focuses very much on looking to reduce maths anxiety and increase a love for education. And if you look at the statistics, they're quite amazing. We had a doubling of people who had a passion for learning mathematics. We had a nearly doubling of the people who enjoyed the task they were doing. The number of people who said they enjoy maths homework rose nearly 3 times, which is pretty incredible. And finally, we included a negative question in there as well, which is the number of people that didn't enjoy mathematics dropped significantly. Finally, it's let's empower the mathematics education today. Sorry. If we want our students to be here in 2040. As a thank you to everyone involved in this program from Matific, and for all the work that has been done, we are happily offering Matific at no cost with no commitment until the 30th of April 2021 to everyone involved with IPN. It's a great tool to enable your kids, especially with remote learning, working from home. It works on all mobile devices. It can work in an offline capacity as well. So if you feel that we can help your students, we'd love to. It's why we're here and it's what we do. But again, Gaurav, the jury members and everyone involved in this process, just from Matific, it's been a wonderful experience. We've thoroughly enjoyed being a part of it. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, Craig. In fact, as I mentioned, any such initiative doesn't really work without a valuable partner in support. So thank you. We truly appreciate this association, and hopefully we will continue to work together in the near future. Thank you, Craig, for that powerful message around Matific as a tool, and I'm sure leaders will adopt it and embrace it and may have a lot of queries around it. So we will keep connecting you to them. Now coming to, as I mentioned, and I think Craig was also mentioning that we now will dive into our final leg, which is final 1 hour remaining, which is to honor not just the impact leaders that I mentioned to you, but also the leaders who've been working tirelessly for our system, and we would at IPN love to honor them. So before we go there, I will pass on this to Divya. Divya, if you have, yeah. So don't worry, left out.
No. I was listening to such beautiful messages coming up. I would like to say good evening to each and everybody who are listening to me. Hello, my name is Divya Dubey, and I welcome all of you on behalf of IPN Foundation today, India's leading knowledge network. And with that, I would also like to thank our sponsors, Matific, to be present with us today in this beautiful, beautiful evening. And to all of the teachers and principals I've been listening to, thank you so much for giving your valuable time to us. And because I welcome all of you to honor India's most impactful school leaders in 2020, I would like to say two lines that it is very well said that everyone chooses one of the two roads in life. One is a broad, well traveled road for mediocrity, and the other one is to greatness and meaning. And today we are honoring such greatness and meaning. And for that, I'm going to move ahead with the first part of awards. And for that, I would like to give away the stage once again to Mr. Gaurav Yadav, the founder IPN India, for opening remarks, as well as to start with our outstanding long service leaders honoring. So over to you, Gaurav sir.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you. Thank you for chipping in. And don't worry, we are working as a team. So, which is that, but only thing is that I may end up doing the 90% of talking and then you'll be left with 10% of it. Having said this, wonderful. Now we are at the last leg, but then this is the most important leg, if I may say. I will in fact share my screen and with which if my screen is visible. Right, so good evening, everybody. Good evening. As I mentioned, it's a pleasure to have all of you with us, as I mentioned earlier as well, that we can't thank you enough for supporting and being part of this journey. Thank you to the jury members for your valuable inputs as well. And in the next, as I mentioned, 30, I would say 60 odd minutes, we'll be done with this. So we will try to stick to our timeline. We are just 5 minutes away. We could catch up with it. So as Divya mentioned, we will, in our first part, and as I mentioned to you earlier as well, in my opening remarks, we will like to honor a few of the leaders who really been the pillar of our school education system. Few I got to know while I was, and I have been working on IPN, as I mentioned to you, and possibly I have to meet more of them. But you can do as much as you can. But so in this year, it's been a tumultuous year for all of us. We all know that, for that matter. And there were some difficult moments for school fraternity as well. And for that matter, as we quickly move forward, and I was mentioning to you that this is the first leg is about the outstanding long service honor, which we are conferring on a few leaders, which we believe, at least, and I say in our limited capacity, know for their body of work, may not be right now in an active role, but their job or their contribution has been remarkable. I will honor, or in fact, will like to invite all of you to honor one of the leaders who we lost this year, in fact, and I'm actually paying respect on behalf of the entire IPN fraternity, and we're honoring this fantastic human being, if I may say. I had the privilege of meeting her as well, and we sadly lost her because she had a long battle for the past 2 years with cancer, which she finally, I think, lost to cancer this year, and very, very deeply disturbed. We all were at IPN, in fact, when we got to know about Seema no longer remaining with us. Worked in a fantastic, in fact, created a fantastic institution, if I may say, ladies and gentlemen, in Pilibhit, a small town, or in fact, a district in Uttar Pradesh. I had the luxury of, or the pleasure of meeting Seema a couple of times, a Sindhya school product, but got married and went to Pilibhit, and we at IPN are honoring Seema for her remarkable contribution for a small town of Pilibhit, wherein she not only gave the desire to excel to the students there, or the opportunity, the way she built that institution. And I often say this, that when I enter a school, I am a vibe person, and I get the vibes which tells you that how or what basis is this institution built. And I must say this, that Little Angels School in Pilibhit is really an institution which is modeled on those lines. So our deepest regard and respect to Seema, though she is no longer with us. I think I have Dr. Sanjeev, her husband, with us, and I would like Dr. Sanjeev ji to take this honor on behalf of Seema from IPN, and we really truly miss her. But as I said, we are with you through and through, and whatever we can do to work with for your institution, we'll be always there for you, Ji. And you, sir, if you would like to.
Yeah, thank you, Gaurav ji, and good evening to all of you. A few words for her. Seema was truly a powerhouse who wholeheartedly believed that education does not change the world. It changes people who then change the world. Under her supervision, Little Angels has raised children who are achieving excellence in different career paths. Right from engineering to music, civil officers to content creators, doctors to artists. Seema ensured that each child understands their capability and gets the chance to harness it. She connected with them in ways that none of us understood but witnessed. Because once a child joined Little Angels, he or she rarely left until it was time to graduate. While her loss remains an unmeasurable one, Little Angels will always feel her presence around. She was a fighter even in the most difficult period of her life. She has set an example for us to carry forward her guidance, her dedication, and her learnings that has made Little Angels what it is today. On behalf of Little Angels, we would like to thank the IPN network for honoring Seema's hard work and recognizing her today. She truly had a very high regard for all of you and was always looking for ways to contribute as well as take teachings and learnings from this network back to our school. I assure you that we will continue contributing and partnering with IPN and ensure Little Angels stands proud with a legacy. Thank you all once again. Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I know this is a difficult year for you, and I know not just Seema, this is a very challenging year for, but as I mentioned, we all are with you, and we will always be at your, if I may say, doorstep for anything we need from us, from my side personally.
Thank you very much.
And your two kids, more strength to them and more love to them from all of us back here.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sanjeev ji. I will take this opportunity of moving on to the next outstanding long service honor from our side, which is to very, very distinguished leader from our country. Again, this was, as I keep saying, this is a very, very remarkable year, and I got to meet some wonderful people, which I have never met before, in fact. So I will, again, she needs no introduction, by the way, a very, 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 very distinguished school leader from our country, but, and I'm sure she doesn't need our sort of a recognition at all. But having said this, IPN feels more powerful and feels, I would say, humbled through her presence. And whenever she has been on the forum on my request, she's only inspired us. So Lataji, good to have you with us, ma'am. And I know it's a working day for you as well, but then thank you for accepting my request and being with us. This may not be the new for you, but having said this, always a pleasure having you with us. Over to you. You'll have to unmute, ma'am. Ha. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much, Gaurav, and the very distinguished set of people who are present probably this evening. I can see a few of them, good friends of mine. Thank you very much for having me over, and I need to thank you and the IPN Foundation for bestowing this honor. But as you rightly said, whenever a teacher receives an honor, she's only a very minuscule part of it. First of all, I like to pay my salutations to the posthumously awarded Seema ji, for her outstanding contributions. I would not say I know her very well, but if a spirit of that kind, which is so overwhelmingly important to the entire community of educators, and so ably supported by her husband, from the way he spoke about her, I could see that. I add my own. I think as all teachers, we always need to be guided by spirits that are not around us, but they are there in whole solely for all of us. Now, in receiving this award, Gaurav, all that I want to say very, very briefly is, you know, we do so on behalf of every stakeholder who made us. We receive this on behalf of all teachers who serve the community of children, because we as teachers are there because of our children. In their absence, we are nobody. And every child whose soul we touch and who touches our soul is responsible for our growth, for our own vision, for our dynamism, if any, for our farsight, if any, and for the world to be a nice place. Teachers are absolutely essential. So I received this honor, and sometimes I don't refuse honors. It is not about big or small. Honor is honor. But each time somebody receives an award, I think there is an opportunity to stand once again amidst the committee of teachers and say, I received this on your behalf. Because I'm sure, like the one from Mumbai who received an award yesterday, the $1 million. Here is a forum before whom I salute him. And thank you for this opportunity, because that's the only way I can reach out and say that there are people like that. So who are we? We have done our turn, but there is some one unsung hero in some corner of this country and the world and the village and the entire universe. And if they have not for any reason been recognized or identified, because karma yogis don't look for appreciation, then I dedicate this recognition in their honor, because they are so valuable to society. Thank you so much. And all that I like to add to aspiring teachers is that this is a profession where I don't think anything other than the future is at stake. Even this astronaut who went up said, I touch the future, I teach. The first woman astronaut, and she was a teacher. That was the first time I learned that you don't need to be a scientist or an engineer or an astrophysicist to aspire to go up into beyond the realms of what we know as Earth. And we celebrate. A teacher can do it. And while that was physically so, all of us do it metaphorically. Go beyond and touch the souls of all these children. And each time there is a winner out there in medicine, in sport, in drama, in theater, in music, in every walk of life. We need to reason to ourselves that we actually deserve it, because we nurtured and believed in honing a talent that they have. So thank you is all that I have to say. And thank you, teachers who have touched my life. Thank you, children who have touched my life. And thank you, everybody who's come into my life, for they only come and they have no permission to leave. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lataji. Pleasure is all ours. And as I mentioned to you, you are a national treasure. People like yourself and are truly the national treasure of our country, and we really have to value you. So that's
completely humbled, completely humbled.
Moving on, my third outstanding long service honor, or on behalf of the IPN fraternity, is to someone who's been working tirelessly in the region of Jammu and Kashmir, Mrs. Vijay Puri, ma'am. Vijay Puri, ma'am, again, as I mentioned, these are remarkable people with extraordinary, if I may say, zeal to contribute to the nation's, I would say, glory. And she has been working in the region, from working with the schools like APSs mostly in that region. Jammu and Kashmir is a difficult terrain of our country. But having said this, we were reading the sort of message which his son, who is in the army, sent in to us, which was that who became, in fact, a principal at the young age of 21. And since then, she has been leading her life for others at the terms of, if I may say, for her students mostly. So I won't say much about her. As I said, all words would fell short of her achievements and regards. I would say I had the pleasure of meeting her very, I would say I met her a couple of years ago. In fact, yeah, it's been a while now. But then her spirit, which really stood out for me, and the way she has, in fact, contributed when I got to know about it from the entire region of Jammu and Kashmir, the way people were supporting or rallying for her is remarkable. Vijay ma'am, over to you, and we would love to hear your kind words as well, or for your message to us. You'll have to unmute. Vijay, you'll have to unmute. I hope someone is supporting you, because I believe you're not keeping well. Yeah. Were you able to unmute yourself? I don't think so. I have made you the co-host as well, so you can just unmute yourself, and then if you can. I think she's facing some challenge. Usually the network as well has a problem in that region. So I will bring in Vijay ma'am a little later once we possibly are able to resolve this in the interest of time. Okay, again, one more gentleman, which in fact I would say someone who I got the luxury of meeting and got, sort of influence he holds, if I may say, on the young leaders of Indian school fraternity in the NCR region is phenomenal. And what a wonderful individual. And for me, everything else is very, I would say a little inconsequential, if I may say. The way you treat people, the way you respond to people, the way you are, you respond to, I would say, someone who is as junior as me reaching out to, for me, that's a very big trait of a leader, if I may say. And if I can, on behalf of the entire IPN fraternity, say that we truly appreciate your work, Ashok ji, remarkable work, and the way you are giving back to the young leaders is unparalleled, if I may say. And we want to say that we are completely with you in whatever endeavor you take up, and whenever you do that. For now, as I said, it is a humble way of honoring your great work. For your message, I have requested you to unmute, please. Over to you.
Thank you, Gaurav. You always humble me in your own very erudite way. Before I begin my acceptance of the honor that you are doing, my tribute and my Shraddhanjali to Seema ji, I did have a privilege to know her, and I always knew that she is a great angel of little angels of Pilipit. I'm absolutely delighted on this particular occasion because two of my elder sisters have preceded me in being honored here. It has been my another privilege that I have worked with both Lata ji and Vijay ji. I worked in Jammu and Kashmir for 5 years, as you would know, and both of them have given their love and affection and wings. They extended their finger for me to hold and walk on the path of education and leadership. So in fact, to tell you the truth, if I had known that I will be honored along with them, I would have requested you to defer my honor for some later time, because it is further humbling to be sitting alongside them in this honor. They have done a great job. They have been icons in the industry of school education, and I will be going on and on telling about what charisma both of them carry in their own ways. This honor that you are doing makes me very happy. And to tell you the truth, during this time of COVID, it also builds my immunity system. It lifts my energy, emotion, and as Sanjay ji was saying, it also reduces the burden of age and experience. So thank you very much. But more than this, Gaurav, I would like to thank you for bringing me in the company of such a distinguished people, distinguished jurists. I can see on the screen, I know most of them, and I can vouch for the amazing work that all of them are doing. Only one thing permit me to say before I sign off. I was listening to all the jurists and the head of the jury, Dr. Ap J Ramanji. APJ name, takes you immediately back to our former president, APJ Abdul Kalam and AP Jayaraman. I mean, the way he was speaking, it was magical, It was transforming what he said. And how spectral analysis he had of not what these principles are, but also what kind of principles this country needs. I think that is very, very important. And I will request you that this entire speech, as a commentary on the kind of leadership that we require in our country, you should, publish it as a treasure for the future generation of educational leaders. What he said, 3 things very important: the science of communication, art of being Indianized, and the culture of Guru Shishya Parampara. I think these should be the defining pillars of India's education system. And the 4th and 5th and 6th things were added by the following jurists. You see, the leadership quality, the humility. Humility came again and again by all the jurists. I mean, how true it is. And therefore, I think you have added a new chapter to the crusade that you have started through your organization, IPN. And Matific has also joined you. I think you're doing an amazing job yourself. And I will not be too far when I say that along with me, Lata ji, Vijay ji, all the jurists and everybody who is here in the show, I can see more than 300 people in this room and many on the Facebook. All of us collectively honor Gaurav Yadav, your spirit, your crusade, and your junoon, and whatever you envisage to do for the education in this country. Thank you very much, Gaurav.
दोनों को चरण स्पर्श लता मैम भी मेरे को thank you very much, and I'm touched, and if I may say this, this is the least we can do for you guys, and you've been doing so much of great work. I keep following it, and I'm a true fan of your work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Moving on, just because, and I will request all my leaders who are with me, please understand this. We really want to give everyone a chance to have in their word. So if it's overshoots the schedule of time, please bear with us. So that's my request. Have patience, and I'm sure we are all loving this conversation, wherein we are all getting to learn so much, if I may say. Thank you very much, Ashok ji, for your wonderful. And as I said, I have to learn from you. And I often say this: the way, the sort of humility you exude is phenomenal. And I have to learn this as a trade, and I'm happy that I'm in your company. So I'll learn that very, very soon, if I may say. Thank you. Moving on, again, someone who I really cherish, been working with IPN as a silent spectator, if I may say. Maybe I have never ever said this, but Annapurna ji, we truly value what you have done for IPN for the past 5 odd years. You truly have supported this entire journey of our at IPN. So thank you very much. I may have missed you out because you have another session. You were saying that you have to be leaving by 4:20. But if you are here with us, I would love to hear from you. If you are possibly no longer, I certainly understand, but I think you are here with us. So I'll quickly unmute you, please, Annapunaji, and we truly bestow this honor and we truly value your contribution to the entire education fraternity. You are not only in India, I think you are all working globally. So thank you very much.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, IPN, for bestowing me with this honor. I mean, being in putting me in the league along with somebody like Mrs. Lata Vaidyanathan, Ashok Pandeyji, and the others itself is an honor for me. Frankly speaking, I have heard about these people. I've heard about Mrs. Lata Vaidyanathan and her work. I've known Mr. Ashok Pandey. I've been interacting with him for some time, but I did not get a chance to actually work in depth with any of these people, probably because I was abroad most of the time. But once again, I would like to reiterate, you putting me in league with these people itself is a much bigger honor for me than this long service honor that you have bestowed on me actually today. And again, it is all due to the perseverance of Gaurav and his team that IPN has reached where it is today. What we have done is what they call that squirrel. What the squirrel has done to the in Ramayana, what we call in Telugu is Udata Sayam. That is what the squirrel has done. I think that is what we have contributed. But then it is your endeavor which has taken IPN where it is now. As an educator, if you to talk about myself, my inspiration for my career has been in one of the Swami Vivekananda's quotes, where he says, "Believe in yourself and the world will be at your feet. Take risks in life. If you win, you will lead. If you lose, you can guide." I firmly believe that, words like these, and with unflinching support and encouragement from your family and friends, and with a passion that drives you to want to make a difference in whatever you want to do, actually enables you to go that extra mile and move out of your comfort zone. And it is only when you're ready to take these risks can one achieve their objective. But are we really satisfied at the end of the day? No, this hunger is never satisfied. And you are calling it outstanding long service honor. I don't know what is the meaning of this long service. I have an uncle. I had an uncle. He is no more right now. Till his 90s, he was very active. He is also an educator. He is my role model, being from my family. He is a Mr. I.V. Chalapati Rao, very well-known figure in Andhra and Telangana region, who has written so many books that they are all used as textbooks from grade 6 to the degree level. And he has won so many awards, conducted till the 90s. People used to come and take him and for conducting workshops. And he's even been awarded the Rajiv Pratibha Award by the state government. So for passionate people, I mean, there is no age limit, there is no retirement age, which I can see in all these people, in what Mrs. Lata Vaidyanathan and the others are doing. And they are again an inspiration to us. And it is truly, truly humbling to be in you have put me in that same league with them. I don't know if I really deserve it or not. I'm really honored. And as Robert Frost says, there are miles to go before we sleep. Miles to go before we sleep. That is what we as educators endeavor to do. There is no such thing as retirement age for us.
Ji, thank you. In fact, you deserve it to be where you are. And I must say this, that this long inning is going to inspire you to go longer, I would say. That's the idea of putting this.
And Seema's news has really shaken me. I knew her very well. And I'm really shaken. If you had put me in immediately, it would have been difficult to speak also. I'm really shaken. And all my regards to Mr. Sanjeev and the kids, really. Anyway, thank you so much. And if you permit me, I would like to take my leave. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this honor. And thank you once again. IPN. Yes, thank you. Mhm.
Moving on, I will quickly, as I mentioned, right? So again, my body of work, if I may say, or I had this luxury of, because of working at IPN, had this beautiful opportunity of working with so many leaders, if I may say. And another such distinguished leader is Dr. Ak Sharmaji, who was with most of his career with the KB Sangathan, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, and again, a very, very, I would say, a humble leader, a very unassuming person, but then when it comes to work, such a commitment. I'm really, really passionate, and he's been working with us at IPN for a good 5 odd years, and really the person who is back at the back of the affairs, if I may say. Ak Sharma sir, if you're there, we truly value your support, and continue to, if I may say, work the way you are working, and we will take your guidance as we go along. Right, I am not sure if Sharma sir is here with us. I did see him in the beginning. I think he is here very much. If you'll have to unmute yourself, sir. Sharma sir. Sharma sir, over to you.
Thank you, Gaurav. It is really a privilege to share the stage with Lata ji, Vijay ji, Ashok ji, and Lakshmi Annapurna ji. They are all stalwarts in their own field, and I am deeply touched with the tribute that you have given to the Seema ji. She was a good and well-known educationist, and as far as I remember, that she was with us in a few of the IPN meets. And it's a wonderful lady. And whenever we are getting any award, any recognition, any reward, our responsibility increases manifold. And every time when I am getting an award, I am very fortunate that I am getting award regularly. But whenever I am getting award, I feel that now I have to work more hard and harder. After joining the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, I have worked on the Sanskriti, and the Indian heritage. So now, currently, I'm working on this field, and we are working on the QR codes in education. We are working on the crossover learning, and we are working on the how can we inculcate Sanskriti through Sanskrit and science. So these are the various things that we are doing. As far as my long journey is concerned, Madam Annapurna has already said that long means how long? I mean, long service doesn't mean that it is related with some age or like this, or it's a number or like this. So I don't feel that we deserve for the long service, but anyhow, for your definition, salute your definition of whatever you are doing. But I feel that if you are thinking new, if you are experimenting new, you are innovating new, and if you are doing new, you are a young man. And every teacher is young by heart. If you are not young at heart, you cannot do anything. So every teacher is an innovator, every teacher is a experimenter, and I request all the teachers to remain abreast with the new knowledge, new frontiers, and new challenges in the education. I dedicate this award to all the members of the family and my extended family of teachers and the students from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan and Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. And I wish that the new education, whatever we are looking now, a blending learning and a challenge learning, should be fruitful for our nation. The new education policy is having a lot of hopes for us, and I'm sure that it will do wonders for us. Thank you, IPN. Thank you very much. And thank you, Gaurav, for giving me this honor and sharing the honor with great stalwarts like Lataji, Vijayji, Ashokji, and Lakshmi Annapurna Madam. And I have shared stages with them on this platform and otherwise also. So I'm very thankful to you for this.
Most welcome, Sharma sir. Most welcome, Sharma sir. And I think Sharma ma'am is also there. Badhai ho aapko bhi.
Yes.
And I'm sure because of her support, you are able to do so well.
I thought that I should come with Mrs. Sharma.
Thank you, Sharma sir. Thank you, Sharma ma'am. Take care.
When I got the national award at that time, they have invited my Shrimati ji also that you should come with your wife.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So I thought it is an award not less than a national award. So I thought that my wife should also join me.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sharma sir. Thank you. As I mentioned, your presence at IPN only makes it more, I would say, substantive. Thank you very much, Sharma sir. Moving on, we are again another stalwart, Mrs. Kiran Bahadur, from a small town near Indore, Mahu, but a powerhouse of a leader, and she's been working there tirelessly, and I'm sure she's been whatever I have known her of her, phenomenal. As I said, I fall short of words when I introduce these leaders. The best thing I can say that we are privileged to know them, at least at IPN, and this is an honor for us that I have this opportunity of honoring them, if I may say, right? So, Kiran ma'am, over to you. Thank you very much for patiently being with us, if I may say.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Thank you so much. And let me tell you, I'm feeling so honored to be here today with such distinguished.
But your video, is your video off or you have kept it, is it not working?
I think my video is off, I think. You want my video to be on?
Yeah, I think, yeah, surely. If you would like to, yes.
And I'm really, really honored to be here today, Gaurav, sharing this dais with such distinguished jury members and, of course, the educational leaders like Lataji and Jainathji, and I really feel humbled. And first of all, I would like to pay my respects to Seema ji. I didn't know her too well, but what I heard from everyone, I think she was a wonderful educational leader. So all my respects and humble tribute to her. And I received this in all my humbleness on behalf of my teachers and the children, without whom I don't think it's possible for me to be doing what I'm doing. And like Lataji pointed out, it's been a journey of self-discovery and self-learning, and we are all Karam Yogis. And I would say that teachers, in today's scenario, are the real Karam Yogis who are working tirelessly in these difficult times. So my salute to all the teachers across the country. And I also want to thank Almighty for giving me this opportunity to be able to serve the society in my own small, humble way. Like they said, it's been pointed out by our jury members that self-learning is what is required in the children to be motivated and inculcated by the school leaders. And that is what exactly that's happening. And I would like to quote Anthony T. Angelo saying, develop a passion for learning. If you do, you'll never cease to grow. So going by that, I think all the school leaders, all the educational leaders, if they can inculcate self-learning in children, we will have a very bright future of our country. And I've been very fortunate, in doing the small work that I've been given by Almighty to be doing. And you, Gaurav, at the IPN, the whole IPN team, I think needs to be honored and awarded for the work that you're doing for the education of our country. I think you're doing a fantastic job. And coming together on this platform with such stalwarts and such highly distinguished leaders, I really feel honored. And I would also like to thank all the principals and the educational leaders who are here for the work that they are doing, for the selfless work that they are doing. And thank you so much, Gaurav, and thank you so much, Team IPN, and my fellow educational leaders and principals. Thank you so much. I really feel humbled. God bless you.
Thank you, Kiran ma'am. Which is why I wanted you to be on the video. You look so beautiful. And Ren, good to have you with us. And I mentioned, not at all. I'm just doing my bit. You guys are the real stalwarts, and we have this golden opportunity of getting to work with you, meet you. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
I move on to our, again, a powerhouse of a leader from Dehradun. Mrs. Chaya Khanna from the Scholars Academy. Mrs. Chaya, again, needs no introduction, if I may say, a phenomenal leader, par excellence, been working in the region, if I may say, and contributing to the well-being of that region. And again, the more you hear about people sharing their journeys or working with her or under her leadership, I'm not sure if she is around or if she is with us. But having said this, we will still, no matter if the leader is able to join or may not be able to join us, we will still continue to at least go by our sequence, if I may say. So Chayaji, we truly value your contribution in the region of your work and the way you have worked there. The way people think about you, that's a real sort of a testimony for a sort of leader, I would say. When we were talking to other school leaders, they all had one similar sentiment while they spoke about your work, was that you really contributed to the upliftment of that region in a very big way. So thank you, Chayaji. If you're there with us, I would love to hear from you, but then I am not sure that I'm able to locate you on my checklist, which is the participant list. If it is by any other name, I would request if you can call me and I can unmute you, and then I can you can ask. In the meanwhile, Vijaypuri ma'am, if you can unmute yourself, ma'am, and then we'll have a quick message of yours. I have made you the co-host so that you can unmute yourself, and then so there is some technical challenge at these levels. So, but as I said, we'll have to keep moving. And I would say we will record their messages if at all this is not able to work this out in this fashion, because we'll have to catch up on the time. So I will, Akanksha, if you can reach out to Chaya ma'am and let me know what is her idea of if she is with us or not. So then we can ask her to share her message with us. Moving on, our final leader from the region of Madhya Pradesh, again, still working very, very closely with the school education system there, tirelessly championing the cause of teacher empowerment. Got to know her this year, and again, I got to know her from the people who are working in that region. And Kala Mohan, I hope, I'm not sure of, because I think you were traveling and you told me that you were in a bad network area. So I respect to Kala Mohanji and for your valuable contribution for the sector and the way you have worked. We will record your message and possibly share it with the entire audience once we get to do that. So Vijaypuri ma'am, agar aapko meri आवाज आ रही है, if you can please, I'm not sure if we are able to resolve that part. So so this was the first part of our honors, ladies and gentlemen, educators who are with us. We now move to the if I may say, the final list of or the inductees for this year, which is the India's most impactful school leaders in 2020, which is, as I said, we met a lot of them. We had around 397 nominations, nominated by around 127 leaders, I believe. This was the first edition, as I said. Maybe we were not able to reach out many of them, but there are. When I look at the list, I personally feel this is a very, very representative group which we could gather, and I'm happy and I'm glad that we are having people from a smallest town, and majority of them actually are from non-metro, if I may say. So that is one major highlight for me, the real impetus, or I'm happy in terms of you all nominating some very, very impactful leader at a smaller level as well, but then they're making a tremendous impact. That is our observation. I pass it on to Divya. Divya, if you can take it over, and if at all, if you need any support from my side, obviously I'm here.
Thank you so much. All right, let's move on towards the second part, and we are over here for the India's most impactful school leaders in 2020. So I'm going to move up with the first mention of today, and the first mention of today is Miss Aditi Mishra, the principal, DPS Gurgaon. Let me tell you something about her. She did all the calendar events despite of lockdown, frequent counseling and wellness and webinars. Peer chat sessions were organized for the senior students as well as for the junior students. It is an honor for me to dedicate this award to Miss Aditi Mishra. And ma'am, I would like to request to please say a few words. Over to Aditi ji. Aditi ma'am, agar aap hain, to
thank you. Hanji, thank you, Divya. Thank you, Mr. Yadav. Thanks to the esteemed jury that I met a week ago, and it's really an honor. As Dr. Ashok Pandey said, as Lata Vaidyanathan ji said, it's nice to be recognized. All awards are basically a recognition of the kind of passion we all carry, and I'm deeply humbled by the recognition given to me by IPN. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Aditi ji. And I will quickly like to, before Divya, you go further, is that we have placed this sequence in alphabetical order so that there is no confusion as such, right? Everyone holds a similar sort of a position. It is just that we had to follow one pattern. The follow-up pattern is that we are going alphabetically. Moving on, Divya.
Okay, so let's move on to the second mention of the evening, and the second mention and the most impactful school leader in 2020. Second is for Miss Amrita Burman, the Deputy Director, Sunbeam Group of Educational Institution, Varanasi. Congratulations, ma'am. Let me tell you something about her. She ported educational system to a virtual mode, adding curriculum delivery and assessment. She also added socio-emotional learning to online classes and organized teachers training across 7 core schools and 17 associate schools. It's an honor to have you, ma'am, today here. Can I have a few words from you?
Thank you so much, Divya. And the very fact that, my name is being announced after that galaxy of great education leaders, and after my dear friend Aditi, I think it's a great honor for me. And I do want to take this opportunity of thanking IPN, Gaurav in particular. I think he's been doing some great work over the past few years. And of course, also to meet the members of the jury in itself, I think was a great learning experience for me. And any award is, of course, an inspiration. I don't think I really deserve it, but I'm absolutely humbled by it. And I do want to dedicate this to all my team members, all my teachers, my admins, my promoters, Mr. and Mrs. Madhok, the students and parents. I think anyone who comes in touch with you, with me, who has come in touch, has touched my life. They've rubbed on me, and I think I've absolutely been mesmerized by their existence in my life. And I'm grateful to dear God for this existence. Thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you, Mrs. Burman. Always a pleasure listening to you, and great to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure is all ours. Let's move on to our next mention. And this is for Mr. Anirudh Gupta, CEO, DCM Group of Schools. And I would like to mention that with Masters in International Trade and Finance, he's been chosen among the top 21 leaders revolutionizing education in India. He also proacted as a COVID warrior by preaching people for health, food, and education for more than 4,000 families with ration, face masks, and of course with the help of shields also. Thank you so much, Anirudhji. Can I hear a few words from you? Hello, Anirudh sir, can you hear me? Congratulations. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, all of you, and very good evening to the entire August gathering. I'm extremely grateful to the entire IPN team, especially to dear friend Gaurav for the honors. I feel humbled. Looking back, last 23 years of my journey as an educationist, initially, declining various business opportunities in corporate sector, alluring offers where we could have, in terms of monetary aspect, made huge money. Rather, stepping into the shoes of an educationist was not an easy decision. However, I'm happy today that I've been able to take this legacy of last 75 years forward and have been able to contribute my might in this noble and amazing field of education. For me, education has never been a profession, and it's all about passion. And every day, every minute, 24/7, 365 days, we are just, trying to look out at ways and means that how we can contribute more and more to bring learning to every single child in the far-flung and remote areas of this country. Recognition and awards like this certainly motivate us, but I'm sure, it also motivates thousands of other aspiring school leaders who are very keen to, become school heads or take over the reins in times to come. So thank you all. And I owe this award to my mother, the entire DCM fraternity, my team members. And I again thank from the core of my heart the entire IPN team. For the last 6 months, I've been associated with them, and I have been testimony to the wonderful work, every week, every passing day, which they have been doing. Kudos to you, Gaurav. While I extend my gratitude and salute to all the teachers from length and breadth of the country, all the educationists, some of them, the stars are already with us today. I also thank, organizations like IPN and especially individuals like Gaurav, who have not only motivated, the entire fraternity, but, they also contribute, to this field in so many ways, especially during this pandemic times, organizing webinars, organizing sessions. So thank you, Gaurav, for this amazing work and the honors. Thank you, all of you. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anirudhji. Always a pleasure meeting you and more importantly, hearing you. I think I often say this, you are a powerhouse of a leader in the region you are working, and I will not use the word this time, which was that you are the leader of XYZ. But having said this, great work. Always a pleasure working with you and listening to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's move on towards the next honorable mention. And this one goes to Mr. Bikram Singh Yadav, Director and Principal, DPS, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. And for him, For his substantial development goals, he designed action plans which has been tapping 21st century from celebration of important days to online teaching. With art integration, he made learning substantial. So it's a great honor to have this beautiful mention with us today, Mr. Bikram Singh Yadav. Sir, if you are with us, please give us few words. We would like to hear from you, sir. Congratulations.
Yadav, sir, you'll have to unmute yourself, sir.
It's an honor, it's a pleasure to have you here, sir. And he is already, I guess. Yeah, he's getting connected.
If the team can call Bikram Yadav, sir, possibly he is not on his desk, so that we can continue on the... Yadav, sir, are you there? No, move on. Let's move ahead. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on towards the next mention, and this honor goes to Miss Deepika Rao, the principal, DPSG, Palam Vihar, Gurgaon. And we feel our pleasure to give this mention because of the concept-based curriculum she introduced, inquiry teaching and learning, and she trained 250 teachers with the focus of 21st century module. I would like to welcome Deepika ma'am up on the dais, and please say a few words. It's an honor to have you here. Congratulations. Deepika.
Am I audible?
Yes, Deepika ji, you're audible, please.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, okay. At the very onset, I would like to extend a big thank you to the IPN team, all the jury members, and would like to add that I'm extremely happy to be here in the midst of so many fellow colleagues who are big achievers in their fields and who have been doing remarkable work. All I can say is that I ended up into education not by design but by destiny. But once I got into it, I decided to understand it completely and deepen my interest, engage with it completely and in a very mindful manner. And as I grew, I realized that I became a more conscious teacher and then a leader. So, in the true spirit of being a lifelong learner, I would say that I have learned from every single experience. And this award is not dedicated to just my staff members, but I think more to my students because they made me who I am today. As I interacted with my students, I learned what is it that they need and what is the kind of education that they are looking forward to, and that defined my path of education. So I do not
Hello. I think there's a connection issue. I think there's a connection issue from Deepika ma'am's side, I guess.
Hello, I had a power cut. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you.
I had a power cut. I'm sorry. So, of course, I agree that there are systems and there are pedagogies and there are numerous things that we can add to the system. But what we can add through our love, compassion, and empathy to the classroom, that can not ever be matched by any other form of education that we can impart them. So I'm just glad to be here. And I just hope that in my quest, I continue to improve with every interaction with every single student and every single teacher and every single leader that I come across. And I should gain from all my experiences and become a better and more conscious person. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for those warm words. It was a pleasure to have you here. I'll move ahead with the next honorable mention. Thank you. I'll move ahead with the next honorable mention and the next. Yes, sir.
We will go to Yadav sir. Yadav sir has joined back, so he called me up. Yadav sir, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, now you are clear and
Yeah.
visible impact.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so sorry that I couldn't unmute myself because I had joined as an, I think, attendee, and I was not being allowed to. Hence, I couldn't really speak. So I'm sorry for that glitch. But at the same time, would like to convey my sincere gratitude to all the teachers who are with us today. And thank you, Team IPN, led by you, Mr. Gaurav, so well. I won't take long because I know when your jury chairman spoke, he mentioned one very important thing. That was conversation to communication. And I could remember my grandfather, whom I really respect in his absence so much that he won't feel bad, his grandson remembering him so well, that he used to interact, converse with the people, and probably from there I learned some sort of conversation. So when we were talking and all of my senior people and friends were speaking, and of course I do the same, that I dedicate all this recognition to the children whom I have been with all through my journey as a teacher learner, and my teachers and principals who have been absolutely fabulous in shaping a little bit of my very rotten sort of personality into something worth being recognized by you today, or by Team IPN. At the same time, Dr. Sharma did mention about the family, and I would like to bring in for everyone. I think it's not true for me, it's true for everyone. We say all good for the parents, for the children, for teachers. They are great contributors in making us known a little bit around. But at the same time, the kind of sacrifice your family makes to get this recognition at times goes unrecognized. So I would like to, on behalf of all the teachers, the principals, would like to remember all my family members. That includes, of course, the children of the school, different school. But I'd like to narrate one particular incident, how the children, your own children, really make you wiser than what you are. You see, I used to work in a boarding school, and this was a 24-hour job, so it was difficult to give any time to your own son, and he was quite young. He may not remember it, and whenever he would ask one question or two, I would always say, I'll tell you in the evening, I'll tell you in the morning, I'll tell you in the afternoon. And every time I would be with the students there in the hostel. So one day he was very upset and did not talk to me. And he said that, no, I'm not nothing for you. For you, everything is those children in the hostel of the school. So don't talk to me. So I was really worried how to manage him, but I could manage to tell him that with you, you have your mother. With these children who stay in the hostel, they have their parents away 1,500 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers or 200 kilometers. So that really made me to realize that how much was he suffering because of the absence he was facing, his father being with the kids who he was responsible for. So these family members are really very important, and whatever little is left from school children, parents and teachers, that recognition goes to the family members. So nothing remains with us. As such, we don't deserve it. It is that they deserve it. And I dedicate it to all the teachers, of course, as everyone does, but I do it so for my wife, for my mother, for my grandfather, and my children. Thank you very much. And I won't take long. I wanted to speak a little longer, but then 2 hours listening to such great things, it was something amazing. And thank you for making really interact me with those 4 great people on that. Thank you very much. God bless everyone.
Thank you, Bikram Singh ji. Thank you, धन्यवाद आपका. Wonderful message, and I'm sure सभी लोग family के बारे में अब सोचना और भी करते थे और भी करने वाले हैं, but अभी इसको बोलते हैं. धन्यवाद. Thank you. Take care. Yes, Divya, you can move on. Yes.
All right, so let's move on towards the next mention, and this one is for Mr. Gautam Rajkaria, the director, DPS Varanasi, Nagpur, Nasik. And I would like to tell you about him that in matter of few days, he moved to Google Classroom due to his strong HR focus with international exposure of the children's. Their school is being chosen as the ambassadors for educating students on a sustainable development goals of 2030. So it's an honor for us that Mr. Gautam is here with us today. I would like to hear a few words from Mr. Gautam. Please.
Thank you so much, Divya. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you to the entire team of IPN for giving me this honor. And just to be counted and be amongst such inspiring leaders and inspiring principals and directors who have so much of body of work behind them. I'm just a very young guy starting out and learning and following their footsteps. So it's inspirational to see the body of work that everybody has done. I have known Gaurav for the last 6-7 years. He's truly been a real gentleman and also guiding and helping our schools through this journey. I'd like to take this opportunity to just give a big shout out to all the teachers without whom this would not have been possible. The last 6 months have not been easy for anybody, and certainly not for the teaching community. There have been brickbats for them from all quarters, and being part of the school management, I would say that we've also been very critical at times, but it's a learning curve for all of us. And the one thing that has stood out for the teachers in this time has been their terrific amount of adaptability, and that is what has really led for our schools in the last 6 months to move to the online platform, to be able to impart such amazing lessons to our children in the online mode. And kudos to their teachers, kudos to their spirit, and thank you once again, everybody, for giving me this honor. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, IPN.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure to have you today with us. All right,
I would just like to quickly add a couple of lines because having known Mr. Gautam for a while, and again, he actually falls under the, I personally feel, the league of those young entrepreneur, or I would say edupreneur, which this nation needs. So I have seen him taking decisions, seen him working. It's been a pleasure, and obviously, I would say his tribe and my tribe increases and flourishes so that this nation really has a fallback plan as well, if I may say. Thank you very much, Gautam. You are a true, I would say a very astute entrepreneur, which I personally look up to for the professionalism you display for that matter. Take care. Thank you, and pleasure having you with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Let's move on towards the next impactful school leader. And I would like to mention, this goes to Ms. Gulshan Kaur, the principal of Bhavan Vidyalaya, Panchkula, Haryana. And I would like to mention that she created own indigenous domain, engaging students in physical as well as mental level with meditation program, even organized inter-house cultural event for the students, and even virtually US-based NGO has been collaborating with their students and compiled an ebook with new trends and techniques. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your efforts, and very congratulations. Can I hear from you a few words, ma'am?
I believe Ms. Gulshan is either not around. Akanksha, please reach out to ma'am, and can you take her ID, by what display ID she is here, because I can't locate her, right? So we will huddle back to her. If you can move on, Vivya, please. Yeah, that we save on the time. Yeah.
Done. All right, let's move ahead. And the next honorable mention is Dr. Jayashree Kanwar, the principal, Sagar Public School from Bhopal, MP. She focused on 3 T's during lockdown: time, technology, and training, giving the best online classes in terms of quality and content. With developing Parents Connect through online counseling sessions. It's an honor to have you, ma'am, here. Very congratulations to become India's most impactful school leader in 2020. Can I hear a few words from you, ma'am? Dr. Jayashree Kanwar.
Yes,
ma'am, are you there?
You'll have to unmute Jayashree ji once more. Yeah, this is good. Please go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. With gratitude in my heart for the Lord Almighty and my wonderful team, I dedicate this honor to my team and my family. Thanks, Gaurav, and thanks, team IPN, for selecting me, and then definitely for hosting this wonderful evening in our honor. I read it in the morning. People who change after change will survive. People who change with change will succeed. People who cause the change will lead. And I feel it from my heart that our frontline warriors, our teachers, are the real change makers. They have kept our dreams and hopes alive in us. Thank you, my dear teachers. These are unprecedented times. None of us had anticipated the challenges which came with this pandemic, but determination, passion, and love for our children has provided us with many opportunities to overcome them and then provide quality education. Training, guidance, and counseling was the need of the hour. Our team started on sharpening the skills of the teachers, be it use of multiple learning tools and strategies during online classes, handling the children during online classes, handling the stress and pressure that everybody was facing, training them for soft skills and life skills, and definitely enhancing confidence, collaboration, and communication. Teachers had to be equipped to come out of their comfort zone. They had to enter the homes of the students and then make learning happen in front of the parents. Yes, here came the connect with the parents. And students, this was a very delicate issue, connecting with parents and students. But with positive efforts, this has resulted in wonderful emotional bonding. The responsibility definitely, as one of my colleagues said, is great on our shoulders. Love, care, commitment, affection, and compassion guided all our activities during these last 8 months. In the process, teachers and schools have earned a lot of respect and appreciation, not only from parents, but from society at large. As they say, lockdown could not lock learning down. And I think all of us agree to this. We have all emerged winners. The show must go on, and a long, long way to go still, touching hearts and changing lives. Thank you so very much. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a beautiful message and such a mesmerizing voice you have. Thank you so much and congratulations. And I would like to mention that Miss Gulshan Kaur is here with us, and I would like to hear from her.
Yeah, before I go there, quick one word from my side. I have known Yashri ji now for almost 4 years. What a powerhouse she is. And my compliments to you. I think you're from Jodhpur, now settled in Bhopal, I believe, but pleasure knowing you and pleasure seeing you the way you have led your organization, which is your school. Wonderful, ma'am, Yashri.
Thank you so much. It's all team effort. Thank you so much.
Gulshan, over to you, Gulshan.
Thank you, Gaurav. Initially, I was unable to unmute myself. So thank you so much. Thank you, Gaurav, Team IPN, and the members of the jury for bestowing honors. I feel extremely humbled and acknowledged in the presence of galaxy of such great school leaders. It's the people, whom we work and connect with makes one impactful. We do not grow in isolation, and we do not work in isolation. So for me, being impactful means to bring a smile on the face of people whom you connect with. I'm extremely grateful to my staff, students, and family who are the forerunners of the message of spreading happiness around. And I thank them for all that they have done and contributed to what I'm here today for. I believe school education, if given proper direction and shape by giving 360-degree holistic growth opportunities to students, we will create a beautiful and peaceful tomorrow which respects coexistence with nature. Gaurav, you're doing a phenomenal job and a phenomenal work. Please continue with it. All powers to you. And thank you once again. May God be our protector.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I had this luxury of meeting these lovely people. If I've never met Miss Gulshan, by the way, I have only met very few of you, handful of you. But when I get to speak to you, when I get to work with you at IPN, it only strengthens my confidence that my work is in the right direction, if I may say. So thank you very much, Gulshan. Pleasure, very well deserved, if I may say, and you're doing a phenomenal job with your grades, I would say. Thank you. Divya, please you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll move ahead with the next impactful school leader 2020, Dr. Jyoti Reddy Ganta, the founder, principal, the Sri Ram Universal School, Hyderabad. Congratulations, ma'am. I would like to mention that she collaborated at a national level with Acharya Devo Bhava and trained almost 135 teachers through teaching competency mapping and strengthened the most important part in COVID, parent partnership with the school. So I would like to have Dr. Jyoti ma'am over here to say a few words, and very congratulations to you, ma'am.
Namaste and a very good evening to all of you. We all are different and it is very beautiful. So when beautiful different people collaborate and work together, we can make a better world which is more beautiful, right? Believing in that, I am honored and humbled to say that I started my career as a grade 1 teacher, and the true winner of this honor is with every individual with whom I worked. So the deserving candidates of this honor are my teachers, my students, my parents of my students, my mentors, right? And I thank IPN team and the founder, Mr. Gaurava, for this beautiful initiative, which is more meaningful. I must have received some awards earlier, but this honor makes me more responsible, as it is peer nomination, as it is meeting esteemed jury members, where the conversation was a great learning experience. Being a lifelong learner, that jury interview itself was like a session for me in those 15 minutes, understanding the different perspectives of the jury members. It added value to my experience. It gave a different vision in terms of looking back after going to my school, in understanding different areas of education world. And I feel blessed to share this virtual screen with all the esteemed personalities working in the education world. So for me, leadership is inspiring others in terms of motivating, supporting, and bringing out the best in them, which help to reach their potential and to reach their goals. So no individual can achieve anything alone. So we all are working together in the best interest of our children, who are the future citizens of the country. So this is dedicated to all the educators, to all my team members. So one thing I would like to say before I close is, this is the need of the hour, in which we have to collaborate with each other. So thank you for creating such platforms, Mr. Gaurav. And what else I can say? Teachers are the heroes of these challenging times, and we all are only catalysts. Thank you. Thank you so much. And happiness leads to excellence, but not excellence to happiness. Not excellence to happiness. So let all of us be happy individuals, creating happy schools, creating beautiful and happy souls. Thank you. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you, Jyoti ji. Wonderful. As I said, one of very unassuming leader working, but I would say very impactful leader in the southern part of the country. Continue the good work. You are, as I said, you are phenomenal, and you, as other leaders were, you were actually nominated by, which I remember, from someone in the north. So it is not from your area. You were nominated by someone who really liked or resonated with your work. So I am sure you are now spreading your wings and you're becoming a national leader, I would say. Very well done. Very well deserved, I must say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's move on towards the next honorable mention. And this is for Miss Kamaljeet Yadav, Principal, Subodh Public School, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Congratulations, ma'am. Let me tell you that she participated in many online webinars, organized on-hill Zoom sessions and workshops for students and teachers. And she herself recorded 120 stories in her own channel, which have more than 500 subscribers. So please put your hands together. I would like to say this is a huge pleasure for us to have Miss Kamaljeet Yadav with us today. Congratulations, ma'am. Can I hear some words from you?
Thank you. Well, Divya and Gaurav, we are teachers. We can keep going. We can keep talking as much as because we are in the habit of talking. So my humble regards to my seniors and to my fellow leaders, those who are doing such wonderful job in this time. What I actually feel is that this is the time to develop a more stronger communication bonding with the community. That community could be of any, like the parents, students, and rest of the society. That's what I strongly feel. And it was a humbling experience to talk, to speak to the jury members. I didn't know what are they going to ask, but when they asked, it was such a pleasure to speak to them. And knowing you from past few months had really given me this thing or this faith that yes, again, new things can start from any time, any day, any moment. So with this, thank you very much for bringing all of us from different parts of the country on this platform and giving me this pleasure, this honor is real more responsibility added to my shoulders, but I'll continue working till I can because I had been a player and a player never says stop, and that's what I want to. So with these words, once again, good luck, be safe everyone and take care. Keep creating that difference which all of us have been doing it. Thank you, Gaurav, and your team.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kamaljeet, ma'am. Thank you. It's my pleasure knowing you. And through the interview, we got to know about the sportsman spirit you bring to the table, and which was a very, very interesting sort of a conversation for all of us. And it was a pleasure meeting you, in fact. So look forward to working with you at IPN. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are moving ahead with our next honorable mention, and this is for Miss Kavita Sangvi, the principal SV KMCNM School, Mumbai. She received an NABET accreditation from the Quality Council in India in May 2020, and more than 2,000 students participated in climate action project and even planted the saplings. We have such an honor to have Kavita ji with us today. Ma'am, can you say a few words?
Thanks to everybody and good evening to all, especially to the jury and to IPN, because let me tell you, the last 8 months with IPN, I have learned more than anybody else could have learned, because every time I did a webinar, I had to go back and do so much research and come back and had so many teachers asking me so many kind of questions. I think my learning curve has increased. So thanks to IPN for all the opportunities that I had to grow. And especially with the jury, I remember the question that came across to me about sustainable development and sustainability. So thank you, Dr. Jai Raman, because you got me thinking. Now I'm really working towards it. So every challenge offers a window of opportunity. And this past few months, the past year has offered lots of opportunities for us. And it's all thanks to my teachers, entire team that we have been able to come out with flying colors. So I have gratitude to every single person who's walked into my life in all the past years, because everybody has taught me something. And that is why today I'm receiving this wonderful award from you all. So once again, thank you to every person who's walked into my life.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Very congratulations to you.
So I will have to keep adding this little sort of caveat to everyone, because I more or less know all of them as well. So Kavita was, in fact, my go-to person whenever I used to plan anything under IPN for teacher development. And I personally feel her body of work or the sort of experience she has gathered is phenomenal. And her appetite towards wanting to know more and still look like a learner is one quality which I really, really admire in you, Kavita, and a pleasure working with you. And I look forward to as I said, continue working with you at IPN as we go along, in fact. Thank you very much. Very well deserved, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll move ahead with the next honorable mention, and this is for Ms. Madhumati Allori, the founder, principal, and academic director of Samskar, the Life School. Let me tell you about her that she kept her motivation and enthusiasm of staff and students in COVID by adapting the new change quick. She quickly adapted the change and made some learning outcomes for the students. The way they were making before pandemic was the same which we were making after the pandemic. So it's a huge honor to have Madhumati ji up on here. Please say a few words to us.
Namaste, everybody. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. My sincere thanks to Mr. Gaurav and the IPL team. It's a real great initiative and a pat on the back to all the educational leaders who are there here. And I'm very happy to share this platform with such a big, renowned educationist. And my heartfelt thanks to all the jury members. It was really great interaction with them, and there was a great learning which was happening while the interaction was going on. It was putting on questions back to me like what next. And this honor I would like to share with my team, my teachers who really believed and who are very enthusiastically there with all the thoughts and what best we can do for the students, and my students, especially the lovely young hearts and who comes to the school, and then the kind of adaptation they have and the kind of enthusiasm they show towards the new learning, and I really bow to them. And the parents who believe in me and then who continue their support in any situation we are in. Along with that, I would like to thank my family, especially where I left my corporate job and came into this, and then they supported me wholeheartedly. And I would sincerely thank my husband who has left his career job again and being a part with me in this journey to make me follow my dreams and passion towards it. And a very sincere thank to Mrs. Jyoti, who believed in me and nominated me for this. And this honor is actually a motivation for my next journey, which is in this field. And yes, it brings in a lot of responsibility. And thank you so much for this recognition.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madhumati. Thank you for your work, and we will get to know you more as we work with you at IPN as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll move ahead with the next honorable mention, and this is for Mr. Manoj Kothekar, the principal, Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vihar from Gale. He personally trained 52 teachers in 10 days during lockdown, utilizing spare time of teachers in in-house content development and organizing extracurricular activities for the students who are at that time in their home. All right, so now I would like to request Manoj sir to please say a few words to us.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be in such galaxy of elite members, and definitely I would like to dedicate this honor to the unsung, mysterious, unknown person who nominated me, still not known to me, the esteemed jury, and all my teachers and staff. Definitely, it's a tough time, difficult time, unprecedented time. And normally during a crisis, what happens is that people come together. But this is a very different pandemic. Everybody is running away from each other. So keeping the parents together with you, keeping your teachers with you, keeping your students with you, and keeping everyone, those who are in contact with you together, that was very, very challenging. If this could have been achieved, everything could have been achieved. I congratulate Mr. Gaurav that he kept in this tough time also all of us together, and even organized such kind of beautiful events where we get a feeling that we are all a family, big family. So thanks once again to all of you. It's an honor. I'm humbled. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Manojji. Having known Manojji and having seen his school, the body of work he is doing, the passion he puts to the work, I will recommend each one of you, if you ever get an opportunity, to go and visit Gale, Guna. It's a small place and the school is in a small place, but what a phenomenal work he is doing. So truly pleasure having you with us, Manojji. Always a pleasure listening to you as well. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Let's move on towards the next impactful school leader, and that is Miss Monica Arora, the principal at Him Jyoti School, Dehradun. And let me tell you that when some students got stuck in Jyoti School because of the lockdown, they were unable to send homes. They decided to make them go home by making them in 3 phases, which was done by the school buses and the staff members. So they months, and that was a rigorous work done by them. And even they have given free digital tabs to 10th and 12th students so that they can continue their teaching. So it's an honor to us to have Monica ji with us today. Ma'am, can you say a few words?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Divya. And a big thanks to IPN, especially Gaurav. I can't tell you how thankful I am because, you know, the principals normally don't really get recognized. So it's, if you see the chemistry of the equation, it's the student plus the teacher and the arrow, and we have a good citizen as an outcome. And the principal is that poor catalyst somewhere on top of that arrow. So I'm so thankful to IPN for actually recognizing the role of the principals also. However, all said and done, it's all actually the reactants which are the most important. So our students are absolutely phenomenal in this pandemic, and this COVID actually has shown me as, it has humbled me as a human being because it has shown the potential of learning that we have. So maybe we wouldn't have been able to tap that kind of potential had it been normal circumstances. Our students took to technology like fish to water. Here I would like to mention Him Jyoti being you know, a free of cost boarding school for girls from very underprivileged families. We do not have the kind of, RIA students do not have that kind of resources at home, which normally people take for granted. So for most of our students belong to very remote areas of Uttarakhand, especially up in the hills, in the Himalayas, and adapting to technology at that, in those geographical locations is not an easy job. It's sometimes so, you know, saddening and even heartening at the same time when you hear, you know, a child telling you that, ma'am, I have to go deep into the forest to get the signal, or somebody has to climb right up to the top of the mountain to get the signal to continue the classes, while we keep telling them not to do so because their safety is much more important. But these are children who don't want to be left behind, you know. So so they've taught me that no matter what happens, you know, learning continues, and if you have a passion to learn, nothing can stop you. The same thing goes for our teachers. I really want to thank all my teachers who have taken again to technology like fish to water. So they were so quick to adapt. Initially, we had a little problem in getting all the children connected. But after that, you know, they have been making progress by leaps and bounds, using resources, doing a whole lot of research, coming up with the best of the things available on the internet. So it's not just one person who should be here to take this award. I think I should have been here with my entire, you know, gang of teachers. So we all, I think, were able to meet some of the challenges of the pandemic because we all worked together. Also, you know, there's just one thing which I wanted to mention here is that Gaurav ji has been very phenomenal in motivating somebody like me, because, you know, you keep on working 24/7 and you kind of get into the rut of working, and at some point of time forget that you as human being also need motivation. So when it was so out of the blue when I got the call, and it was like, oh really, okay, so it's like, so whoever nominated me, thank you so much for that also. And of course, entire team IPN for all the great work that you are doing. And also last but not the least, Sudarshan Agarwalji, I really want to thank him. He's no more with us. He was the former governor of Uttarakhand who laid down the foundation of Himjyoti and strived to make, let us have an equitable society. So all these people have worked together. My biggest worry during the pandemic was that we had at Himjyoti a culture of, inculcating in the children giving to the society. So we had a project called Let's Give Back, where our children were working for the betterment of society. We had a whole lot of social work projects which were going on, and I was afraid that that is what we are going to lose. But I'm so glad to see that our children took the initiative, be it children of class 7, be it children of class 9, our senior children who took the initiative. Some of them, did Nukkar Nataks, and they made these awareness videos and put it on YouTube. So no matter what, they are still continuing with their journey of trying to improve the society a little more. So thank you so much again, IPN, and thank you everybody for this wonderful honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Phenomenal work, Monica. As I said, you really have done a wonderful work in that region of yours and for the very, very marginalized section of people. So, which is why I personally feel that really creates an impact to a very different level altogether. So wonderful. Keep up the good work you're doing. And we'll continue to work with you as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Monica ji. All right, I'll move ahead with the next honorable mention, and this is for Mrs. Palak Tiwari Gaikwad, the Director, Little Kingdom Group of Schools, Jabalpur, MP. Let me tell you, she has n number of awards. What a lady. I would like to mention that she has been latest awarded by Forbes India in 2019 and also in August 2020. A Woman Leadership Award was also awarded in 2019, and she's even a parenting blogger, a blogger which is much needed in today's era. So please, everybody, get ready to listen to Mrs. Palak Tiwari Gaikwad. Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations for the award.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank Team IPN and the jury for this award. I especially thank Mr. Gaurav, not only because of the way he has conducted, the kind of ethics he has followed, to make this recognition meaningful. Because, as you said, I have received many awards, and I know what all goes behind it. So this is one award that I really wanted to be personally, present. Otherwise, generally it happens that I do say somebody to collect the award. So I am honored. I hope that as an impactful leader, I am able to enable the skill of navigating uncertainties amongst our learners and help our learners to find the purpose of their life, make each one of them as an achiever, and create happy, competent, and content nation. Jai Hind, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Palakji. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. In fact, having known your work, Palak, you're doing a phenomenal work. Again, the region you come from, which is again not a metro, not a major town. So, and the diversity of your work is phenomenal. So continue the good work, and we will continue to work with you at IPN as well. Kudos to you. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'll move ahead with the next honorable mention, and this is for Ms. Priya Sangwan, the principal, Sri Ram Bharati Public School from Bahadurgarh, Haryana. Very congratulations to you, ma'am. She tried to learn more and more from the pandemic, and this made her more and more stronger, bit more focused and bit more practice with less is more is her new motto. So I would like to request Ms. Priya Sangwan to please come up and say a few words to us.
Thank you, Divya. And thank you, IPN Foundation. And I would like to thank Matific as well. And a special thanks to Gaurav ji for this wonderful and the persistently wonderful work which you are doing these days, during the COVID times. And I guess we all as a fraternity achieved the sense of frugality, focus, and nimbleness. So I am no special case as such. It's just that I got noticed. But I'm sure millions of us, like others like us, must be doing some wonderful work silently. I extend my respect and support to all those working for a better education system. If I can be of any assistance to them, I'm game for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Having seen, I think it's not that I am anyone new to say this, but please go on Google and type Priya Sangwan and you'll get to listen to her powerful messages, which are in support of the work teachers are doing. And I personally feel she truly championed the cause for teachers this year, certainly during the COVID times, and which really deserves a national sort of a I would say focus. So thank you, Priya. We did follow your work and whatever little we have worked together with you. I think you are a great sort of mind and we would love to work with you, IPN, as we go along. Thank you very much. Thank you for
Gaurav.
being with us.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you. Congratulations, ma'am. All right, let's move ahead. And for the next honorable mention, I have Mr. Raghav Podar, the chairman of Podar Education Network. Now, he gave relief efforts to poor who were affected by COVID lockdown and even initiated Podar Care campaigns and also did quality screen time campaign for the parents. And we are very obliged to have sir here today and very congratulations to you, sir. Can I hear from Mr. Raghav Podar?
I am not sure of if Raghav was there initially with us, but I think he has either has a poor internet connection. I was just seeing him. If we can reach out to Raghav's team, Akanksha, please, and then we can come back to Raghav. Yeah.
Yes, sure, sir. Sure. All right, so we'll move ahead with the next mention. This is for Dr. Ram Mohan, Managing Director of Stuti Global Academy. And this is from Mainpuri, UP. And he has organized several online sessions, webinars of training organized of different educational bodies. And he's remotely working with the staff and students and even got the opportunity to work outside of the traditional classroom. So he thinks it's an opportunity for all of us to move ahead from a traditional classroom where we were all located. So very congratulations to you, sir. And I would like to hear from Dr. Ram Mohan. We've all been waiting, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you, Divya ji, and thank you, Gaurav ji. Thank you to all IPN teams. First of all, I want to give the thanks to dear Gaurav ji for nominating to me. And thank you for the jury to selecting me. I want to dedicate this award first of all to my parents, and after that to all the teachers those are working with me, all the teachers of Mainpuri and Eta districts, all the student and parents of Mainpuri districts and Eta district, because we are working in some small districts, and the parents and teachers and students, they have the faith in us, so we are doing the work with them. Gaurav ji, as a teacher, I want to say one thing. If you want to really serve something good for your nation through the education, to give the best education with the best moral values. Because if a teachers are giving the best education with best moral values, he will become the national builder. Because as my father was a teacher, and he always telling, Ram Mohan, अगर आप टीचर बनना चाहते तो एक बात का ध्यान रखना, teachers have only two types of the things. One is Rashtra Nirmata, second is Rashtra Vinasak. Teacher is the national builder. Teacher is also a nation destroyer. If you will give the good education, then you will become the national builder. And if you not give the good education, then you will become the national destroyer. That is, every teachers have the two types of the role. That is national builder as well as the national destroyer. I want to thank to full IPN team and especially to Gaurav ji that they selecting me, and I have the very words with the Gaurav ji, and Gaurav ji, you are doing a wonderful job during this pandemic area, because every time we are meeting to each other. I'm thanking to all the principals and educationists those are there, and great attitude to all of you. Thank you, Gaurav ji. Thank you very much.
नहीं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर. मैंने वही बोला आपसे, जो लोग नहीं जानते, people who do not know, Mainpuri is not a very big sort of a town. It's a small district. It's a integral part of UP, but sadly it's not known for education and championing the entire movement of education in that region, which is spread around now 200-kilometer of radius, which is ranging from Mainpuri to Eta, Etawah, and other parts of that region, which really was once popular for dacoits, for that matter, if I may say. So I think that's a real impact to me, Ram Mohan ji, and pleasure having you with us, and continue the good work you are doing. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's move on towards the next honorable mention, and this is for Miss Rashri Sehag, the principal, the Fab India School, Rajasthan. I would like to congratulate her as she focused on professional development of educators to enhance innovation in education by designing different projects with knowledge and skills of the students. So I will move ahead and would call Ms. Rashri Sehag to please say a few words.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. And my sincere, heartfelt thanks to Gaurav and Team IPN. Thank you, jury, for selecting me. I want to express my gratitude to Gaurav because when this pandemic started, he was the one who actually brought the world to us. I come from a very small place in Rajasthan. And Gaurav was the one who was able to bring the world to us through his sessions. And every week I would attend the sessions, learn, go back, and help my teachers to enhance their skills. And eventually they would help the children to grow. So a sincere thanks to IPN for recognizing my work and for giving us this opportunity to grow in this pandemic time. And I'm very, very grateful to my team, to my board members, to the Fab India team for putting me up here to take this award on their behalf. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. In fact, Rashri and we were working together, and I got to know more about her work. Phenomenal work in a small place for people who are not well off, and if I may say, not really, I would say, economically sound background they come from, or the educational background. So again, for me, impact has a very different definition. To me, people like yourself, Rashri, are the real impact creators. So thank you very much for whatever you are doing. Continue the good work, and whatever we can be of support, we'll be more than happy to do that for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations, ma'am. We will move ahead with the next impactful school leader, and this goes to Mr. Roshan Gandhi, the CEO, CMS School. Very congratulations to you, sir. And I would like to say that in matter of 2 months of time in COVID, they successfully moved to end-to-end admissions of 4,000 prospects from paper to online. Various educational programs were organized by them with the career counseling as well, and much, much more. Very congratulations to you, Mr. Roshan Gandhi, and I would like to hear a few words from him.
Thank you very, very much. It's indeed a great honor to be receiving this, and very special for me to be on a platform with so many other distinguished leaders who are making such a positive impact across the education sector. And many of you won't even know it, but I've been aware of some of your work and some of the things you've been doing, and I've drawn inspiration from that and learned from that. So my gratitude to all of the other esteemed participants here. And I'd also like to just thank Gaurav and Ak ji and Divya ji and the IPN, really, because actually I believe very strongly, I've said this to Gaurav before, that one of the most important things that the education sector needs at the moment is a platform for educators to collaborate and share knowledge and understand each other and learn from one another. That uplifts the quality of education as a whole. And so the IPN is such a powerful and important group for that. So very grateful to you all for all the work that you do. And just last thing I want to say briefly is that the perk, as it were, of being a leader is that one receives the credit for the work of a lot of other people. And successes for which I'm receiving this award perhaps are really due to hard work of thousands of teachers in the CMS system, especially during this year. Just the strength and resilience and adaptability that they have all shown, and the willingness to learn, and the sheer hard work that they've put in has led to a lot of change, a lot of impact, and a lot of reasons to celebrate. And I think that's really what's being recognized here. So basically just a huge heartfelt thanks to the entire team at City Montessori Group of Schools. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roshan. As I said, he's very young, but trust me, leaders, a phenomenal leader. And in fact, I would say, watch out for the next 5 to 10 years. We will see some brilliant work being carried out by CMS under his leadership, which now he leads from the front. Wonderful, Roshan. Thank you for taking out your time and being with us. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next Impactful School Leader 2020. And this is for Dr. Shankar Prasad Datta, Principal, Krishna Nagar Public School, Nadia, West Bengal. Congratulations to you, sir. For the Center of Excellence, he has convened various capacity building programs and wellness in pandemic. He also published a quarterly e-magazine with more than 300 contents was selected and uploaded in Diksha portal. So I congratulate you, sir. Very, very congratulations to you. And I would like to hear a few words from you, sir. Dr. Shankar Prasad Datta.
Good evening, all the dignitaries present here today. It was actually a treat to hear from eminent educationists and great personalities. I feel the initiative by IPN is a wonderful way to acknowledge the contribution of teachers and educators, especially in a situation where we have seen teachers, educators really emerge as true warriors. Firstly, I would like to express my deepest regards and gratitude to my mentor, Mrs. Anita Brooks, for nominating me. My gratitude to Mr. Gaurav and the entire IPN team for considering my nomination. And I would also like to thank the jury for considering me for the award. It was actually a great learning being able to interact with you all. I dedicate this award to my KPS team members, without whose untiring cooperation and support, we simply wouldn't have been successful in helping our students during this pandemic situation, and especially in a suburban area. I'm thankful to my wife and daughter for cooperating with me and sacrificing their family time. I would also like to convey my heartiest congratulations to all the other awardees. Gauravji, you and your team members, a big salute to you all. You really have enlightened and motivated the teachers continuously during this pandemic situation, and actually it is commendable. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being there. Thank you for acknowledging the teachers. Have a nice time. Thank you.
Thank you, Shankar
Thank you.
Prasad
Thank
ji.
you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sankarji. And in fact, we will love to work with you at IPN. We got to know about your body of work, phenomenal, and we will really take your services for the teacher development at IPN. Thank you very much, Shankar.
Thank you so much, Sarji.
Thank you. Let's move on towards the next honorable mention, and this is for Sarita Sinha, the principal GPS Dhanbad, Jharkhand. Now, she believes in experimental learning, special counseling for boys and girls, and hoping for little bit change. She has a special grievance boxes for the girls without their names written on it for well-being and for their counseling. So I congratulate each and everybody over here. And of course, Sarita Sinha ji, for this lovely opportunity today. Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Gaurav. And especially thank you, IPN team. And it's a pleasure. And I'm really absolutely humble after getting this award. I feel this award should go to my teachers and my children. You know, and I won't take much of your time because, you know, speaking on the same topic again and again, that yes, Everybody has made a difference. Everybody has made an impact somewhere or the other. I would really like to thank Gaurav, who has brought us all on such a platform, and we really are getting to know each other, the kind of work each one is doing. And during this pandemic, what I have learned and what I have told my teachers is something very different. That first of all, you should have a lot of patience, a lot, I mean, that passion to do, that integrity, optimism, and your attitude, your habits. You have to be more creative, your perspective, your taste, and go. Use technology in the best possible way. And I would also like to thank the jury. And it was really wonderful interacting with them. You had wonderful jury members, Gaurav. And especially, I cannot forget Mr. APJ Jairam, sir, who really reminded me of APJ Abdul Kalam, who I really worked with very closely. So the questions he kept asking me really reminded me of our former president. And it was really nice. Thank you once again, IPN team. And thank you for really, giving me this award. Thank you, Gaurav, once again. Keep doing this work. And we are really get to learn a lot of things from you. Thank you once again,
Dr.
IPN team.
Sarita, as I said, is again working in a very, very remote side of her country, which is in the coal belt of Dhanbad, and where she's making a very tremendous difference, not only to her institution, I must add, dear leaders, she's actually impacting the nearby smaller schools as well through her work, which is phenomenal and which really, I believe, is an icing on the cake, I would say. So thank you very much, Sarita ji. Pleasure hosting you with us, and look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations. We'll move ahead with the next India's most impactful school leader 2020, and this is for Miss Subhadra Murlidharan, VP Bhartiya Vidya Bhavan Chitoli, and very congratulations to you, ma'am. And she is a member of Education and Research Wing with Bhartiya Vidya Bhavan. She is also selected as the innovative principal by ASA, and because she's been introducing new technologies of education, she's been also doing work for Divyang students, which is a very beautiful thing to do. And now I would like to hear from Dr. Subhadra Murlidharan.
Thank you, Ms. Akansha. Thank you, Ms. Akansha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Gaurava. And towards the fag end of the day, of course, it was an incredible journey the last 3 hours. Everyone, including Mr. Gaurava and all of you, are new to me, unknown to me actually, till I got a call and an email saying that I am an awardee. So thank you so very much. And this has definitely worked as a pat on my back when I'm going through a very shaky ground, because I come from a I work in a very small town of Palakkad in Kerala. So thank you so much. I don't want to take much of your time. Hope to meet all of you, or rather work with you in the coming years. Thank you so very much for considering me. And of course, a special thanks to Ms. Akansha, who really coordinated the work with IPN and myself, and Mr. Gaurava and Ms. Divya, all of you. Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure meeting all of you, though virtually. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, Subhadra ji. It's been a marathon 3 hours, so I know you waiting for it, but then truly worth the time, and certainly you making a lot of impact, which is why I think someone nominated you and we reached out to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's move on towards the next honorable mention. And this is for Mr. Surjit Singh Grover, the chairman, DPS Rudrapur. Now, he was awarded as the Sikshak Samman by the Lions Club International, New Delhi, for his contribution in educational field, and his school is being termed as #1 co-ed school in Rudrapur. It's an honor to have you, sir, with us today. Very congratulations to you. And can I hear a few words from you, sir?
Thank you, Akansha. Good evening to all of you. I'm really honored to get the award and thankful to the member of jury. Especially thanks to Mr. Gaurav and IPN team. That credit goes to my dynamic team of both the schools. I can just say that together we can achieve more to make this country feel proud of the teaching fraternity. And we always pray, our all team always pray as our 10th Guru guide, Dehe Shivavar Mohe Shubh Karman Te Kabhu Na Daru. Thank you very much for this award.
Thank you so much, sir. It's pleasure for us.
थैंक यू सुरजीत जी, आप बहुत ही शानदार काम कर रहे हैं। आपके और आपके चेतन जी, नरेंद्र जी, मुझे मालूम जितना चला है, आप लोगों की थॉट प्रोसेस ही इतनी कंटेम्प्रेरी है। फेंसिंग से लेके गार्डन फार्मिंग जो आप कर रहे हैं बच्चों के लिए, मतलब आई थिंक रूफ फार्मिंग भी कर रहे हैं आप लोग। अमेजिंग, आई मीन दीज आर ऑल वंडरफुल न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट जो आप शायद एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे कहीं मेट्रो में होते हुए, और रुद्रपुर जैसी जगह पे कर पाना ही मेरे ख्याल से इम्पैक्ट का दर्शाता है। So very well deserved, I would say, and continue the good work आप जो कर रहे हैं। धन्यवाद। Thank you
very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's move on towards our next honorable mention with India's most impactful school leader 2020, Dr. Sushma Mandal, the director, Dr. Viren Swaroop School, Kanpur. With various competitions organized on virtual platforms by her, the sessions for parents and teachers were also taken during the pandemic. And that didn't stop her. In fact, it increased the speed of her work, and she covered most of the course of the students in the pandemic ASAP, as fast as possible. So guys, we are very honored to have Dr. Sushma Mandal today with us, and very congratulations to you, ma'am. It feels an honor to have you here. Can I have a few words from you?
Good evening to all, and a lot of patience to all those who are left in this at this point of time, right from 300 to 100. Anyways, a big thanks to IPN and Gaurav, who literally dragged me in the IPN, and I'm here attached with IPN since inception. And I've seen IPN grow. And I know most of them who were there as nominee, and I'm honored to share the platform with all of those who have done wonderful job. And through IPN, I have learned so many things by learning. I mean, this is the platform where we have dialogues, where, we get to know each other and we learn from each other instead of having monologue. That was the beauty of the IPN, and things have been very fair. I mean, I could make a vouch on it that there was no partiality. It was unbiased platform. That is one thing which always motivated me to join and be part of this throughout. So that is something very nice. And yes, now I'll come to the formal kind of a thing. Thanks to the jury, and it was lovely having interaction after so long. I had so many people interacting with me on the virtual platform. I don't have so much of experience as a principal. This is the first platform where I'm working as a principal, and I have learned many things. And yes, whatever I am today, because of various people who played a vital role in my life, starting from my father, who really played a vital role in making me a teacher. I'm from a corporate, entered into the teaching, so he played a very vital role in that transit time. Then my mother, my family, my son, whose time, I mean, personal time was taken by me to make my career and make that workplace grow, and whatever I am today because of their sacrifices. So I owe to them this award, and unconditional support of my team. I'm blessed to have a wonderful team who always go ahead whatever changes I bring in at a very short notice. So this award and honor is definitely going to be shared with my teachers, my students whom I taught, the toughest student who made me tougher teacher. And I believe whichever kind of teacher I became because of the students who threw challenge. And they used to tell me, I remember staying of one of my student, कि मैम आपकी सोच जहाँ खत्म होती है वहाँ से हमारी सोच शुरू होती है. That was the one tagline which always used to make me think ahead with them so that I can tackle those children. So there are certain students who really played a vital role in making me a better teacher. And once I'm a learner, I'm ready to learn at every point of time. And I'm grateful to be part of IPN, who has really given me recognition, at the same time a learning platform. And I could learn a hell lot of a thing through IPN, to be very honest, by attending various sessions. And during pandemic, Gaurav has made us sit for almost every day for the sessions. And that was the time when we utilized very fruitfully.
So I'm grateful, thankful, honored, and humbled by having this recognition. Thank you so much, IPN. My extended family is my friends who are there unconditionally with me at any point of time. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandal ma'am. Thank you, Mandal ma'am. I'm sorry I'm cutting Divya after this. I have been doing throughout the day, I must say, but that's my bad habit. But having said this, Mandal ma'am is a very integral part of IPN family from very beginning. As I mentioned, she is actually one of the pillars who has IPN dependent on actually. So that's in itself is a testimony that sort of faith and the trust we hold on her and her body of work. So my compliments, very well deserved, Mandal ma'am. This is all for your hard work and to your leadership qualities and your staff across, I would say, the Uttar Pradesh where you have. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Congratulations. Now, last but not the least, I would like to mention India's most impactful school leader by 2020, Dr. V. Bindu Padma Bhushan, principal in Hosar Public School, and she is from Tamil Nadu. And now I would like to say that she has spoken in many occasions in World Education Summit in 2020 and organized Kindness Carnival, hosted inter-school model UN with UN on the virtual platform, and it feels really obliged with us that she's over here. And very congratulations to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for achieving this award. Dr. V. Bindu.
Thank you, IPN. Thank you, Gaurava Yadav. Thank you, all the team of IPN and Matific. And thank you, all the jury members. Thank you for giving this honor. Thank you for acknowledging the work which I am doing in my school, wherever I am working. And I really believe that, see, the peer nomination has actually led me to receive this honor. The peer, the word peer means that someone, a person who is equal to you, who is equally, who has the same ability as you. So I actually, I'd like to dedicate this award to my friend, my sister. Actually, she is Sujata Hari, Vice Principal of Excelsior School, Kottayam. She actually nominated me. So in this way, see, there are a lot of people who make differences in our lives. So there are many, who touched my lives, my students, my parents, my teachers, my management, my family, my friends, and whoever I have met in my lives, they all have made some small differences in my life. So I am obliged to everybody. I am actually full of gratitude only, full of thanks only. Honor is an honor. So thank you once again for giving me this. This actually motivates me to work further and inspires me to do a lot for the community, for the society, for the children. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I would like to congratulate each and everybody who've been awarded today. And after listening to all of you people, I'm not from the education field, but it feels such an honor to be part of this beautiful conference today. And I would say that you guys are truly India's most impactful school leaders. And now I would like to give away the stage for the closing notes to Mr. Gaurav Yadav, the founder IPN India.
I think I would not like to take much of the time because we are already 1 hour, I think 12 minutes ahead, if I may say, in terms of our official close. But before I go there, Dr. Bindu, thank you very much. You're doing a fantastic job. I got to know, and as I said, I got to know a lot of the leaders during this course of knowing the impactful leaders and their work by the nominations we got through your peers, as you mentioned. So wonderful knowing you, and we will love to see you working with you as well on IPN. Thank you. And now, firstly, wonderful job, Divya. Very well done. Good job. I should not be closing this before thanking my team, which is Akanksha, Paramjeet, a lot of other, as I said, people who are behind the scenes working with me. I always say this, the leader is as good as the team he or she possesses, and they make me look smarter in front of all of you. So my team, thank you very much for the tireless nights we spent on this. Thank you to my jury members. Jury member, as I said, Ap J Ramanji sir, Meena ma'am, Sanjay sir, James, Craig, all these, Rajiv for that matter, Sanjay sir, Vivek, these were the leaders who really worked for the past 25 days on a daily basis. We had to put this together in order to bring this to you. So everyone who stayed back, these are people who really value the sort of work we are doing. So we truly appreciate your presence, and each and every leader who was honored today, all 26 of you, you are all, I would say, part of a larger story which we will going to build now from here on. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, everyone who stayed back. Thank you, J Ramanji sir, the jury chair, under whose guidance who we could put this together in a fabulous fashion. And I personally feel, though we took a lot of time, but I think we were worth the time which we spent with you. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye. Okay, hold on. By any chance, can I get Vijay ma'am? Vijay ma'am, I can see you now. I'm so sorry, but your is not, you are not able to unmute yourself. Would you like to send your message on the phone? If I can call you.
I am already unmuted.
Finally, please.
I am, imagine your mass thing like this for 3.5 hours.
देखिए अब
Imagine
मैं वही देख रहा हूँ कि हम लोगों ने इतनी कोशिश करी अनम्यूट करने की, बट चलिए आपसे मुलाकात हो रही है, आपका एक मैसेज सबके लिए बताइए, आपने नहीं सुना होगा।
My message is, first of all, I will like to thank Team IPN, which to me is nothing less than the path setters, the path makers, and the path showers for the future generations of education for excellence. This IPN is not only dealing with the education part of it, but as long as I know it, particularly Gauravji, under your kind control and command, as long as I know it, it is trying to see all the facets of society so that it can cover up and it can make a composite, healthy society of people. I must congratulate you for today's this grand event, for which I stood sting for the 3.5 hours, exactly 3.5 hours, and I did not leave. I thought I will not leave, and I disturbed you twice on telephone also. Thank you very much. I wish a great luck for Team IPN. Thank you, great luck, Ashkansha. You people are doing a lot of work. My great love to you and my blessings to you. All the best. I know you are tired. You don't want to hear any word now. I know. When I was of your age, perhaps I wouldn't feel like that, but feeling was there. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot.
Not
and
at all.
Heartiest congratulations.
Not at all tired.
Are you set?
Not at all tired. I must say that it is such a wonderful close to this session that I could hear your message. सबसे पहले तो और आपको fit देखते हुए इतना अच्छा लग रहा है. That's a great sight. So firstly, stay healthy the way you are. The passion in your voice is still there, and 3.5 घंटे.
I'm your ma, Gaurav. I'm your ma. I have to transmit 100% in you. Till then, I will not close my eye. Till then, I will not close my eye until I transmit 100% for you. Anyways, in the meantime, are you sending some on print? Are you sending some certificate or anything?
जी अभी इसके बाद हम आपको सभी को इनफैक्ट सभी लोग लीडर्स को आपका सर्टिफिकेट और जो आज का क्रिएटिव है वो सब आपको ईमेल करते हैं इसके बाद बस ठीक है हाँ
थैंक यू वेरी मच
धन्यवाद माँ आप ख्याल रखिए अपना और बाय एनी चांस आकांक्षा छाया मैम से कनेक्ट कर पाए हम लोग मुझे याद आया अभी एकदम से क्योंकि अगर
आकांक्षा भी है
क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल से
अभी
हाँ नहीं वो हाँ
छाया नहीं है आकांक्षा है
छाया एक और लीडर थी मैम एक और लीडर थी वो आपकी तरह उनका भी नेटवर्क में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा था तो वहां उनसे एक बार बात कर रहे हैं कि अगर वो भी आ सके तो अभी आ जाएं इसको बोलते हैं ठीक है ना
Sir, I have tried to call her, so she said that there is some network issue.
अच्छा ठीक है कोई बात नहीं थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी थैंक यू फॉर स्टेइंग बैक एंड आई एम वेरी हैप्पी कि मैं विजय माँ की बात को सुन पाया धन्यवाद टेक केयर
थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी थैंक यू